The College Football Experience Week 2 preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the NFL. Yes, it kicks off this week. Get ready for the season with 32 NFL team previews from the Sports Gambling Podcast. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL previews today. And don't forget the free roll football contest is back and better than ever. $5,000 is up for grabs in our NFL contest and $1,500 in our brand new college football contest. Sign up exclusively in our Discord at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Week 2 preview and picks episode. We are all remote as I am at the Wynn in Las Vegas. Yes, if you're in Vegas, I'll be here all the way to next Monday. I hope I can make it, but if you're in town, please let us know. Come by the Wynn. We will buy you a beer, a whiskey. I don't know. Get in, get over there. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Yes! Yes! Week 2? Look, I mean, I don't mean to brag too much, folks, but, Tally Site only has, probably a couple hundred people that pick games over there, and, your boy picked, finished second. I didn't finish first. But
slacking.
I think we're the only ones that pick all the games. So even the guy in front of me, he didn't pick all the games. All right, that is why you subscribe to the College Football Experience. 160 and 106 so far this season, including Week 0, hitting at over 60%.
Not too shabby.
So let's go. All right, look, I am joined by my co-host out of Hollywood, California right now. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Well.
Yes. Week 2 is here. And in the third quarter, out of Raleigh, North Carolina, give it up for the DFS god himself. Come play DFS with us, folks. We dropping episodes all week long. Get in the action. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free lack giving, farmer, Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's going on?
There we go. Let's go. Now we're talking NC Nick. We didn't get you on the recap, and I know we got to dive into these games, but I'm very curious. Very curious.
What are we going to talk about here?
What do you think of your NC State Wolfpack?
Well, they got pretty damn fortunate, but a win is a win is a win. Move on to the next one. But there's concerns, man. Sure. Offensively, there's concerns. There's concerns with Leary. Now, I do like some of those new running backs. Sumo, especially.
Dude,
so,
that,
look, they got the win.
Head?
Yeah, seriously. This guy's a monster, man. But yeah, there's some cause for concern. Sure.
Well, I'm going to make an argument. Devin Leary might be the worst quarterback in the ACC in North Carolina because, May at North Carolina's first road start.
He's slinging
a problem. I would argue that he is looking better than Sam Howell. We'll see if he can do it again on the road this week. And then Sam Hartman, we got news. Sam Hartman is back. Oh, man. Buckle up, folks. And then I need you to talk about the Duke Blue Devils and Riley Leonard.
Hey, we'll take it, man. They look good. They look great. The question is Temple complete dog shit, which is a possibility. But Duke looked much better than I thought coming out the gates with the brand new coach, brand new quarterback. Lost a bunch of the roster from last year. So I'm excited. I think this week will be a better barometer to see where Duke is at. And I still think Duke's going to struggle this year. I think this is a process, a long process. But coming out the gates looking like that, hey, man, chalk it up as a win. We'll see what they do this week.
There we go. All right, last thing I got to ask you on, and it might be a little tough to answer this one. What do you make of those James Madison Dukes?
Well, I'm talking to me or Patty now.
No, I mean you guys had a lock battle there.
I got a tip of the cap to you, sir. James, you look great, man. I'm excited that they're in the Sun Belt, and I think they put themselves on the FBS map and say we're a contender, we're a player.
I think we might have been underestimating them because Todd Centeio, because he was balling.
I've never seen him play that well.
Yeah, sometimes all it changes.
I was a detractor. That was one of the main things why I was fading JMU because I didn't like Centeio when he was at Colorado State. But some new scenery, man.
Yeah, what's that?
You know what jumped out to me in looking at JMU is they got a brick wall of an offensive line. Like right as I saw them physically, they're imposing and they're just stocky meatballs. And on the field, they dominate at the point of contact. So that helps, but also they must be protecting pretty well for him to get 6 touchdowns.
And I was not worried about the O-line, the physicality. I was more so like Nick. Like I thought they were going to be fine from a physical standpoint in the FBS. Now, it's just one game, but Centeio was a little bit of my concern. And then those late transfers that transferred out was my concern. But, wow, I was not expecting that. Now, I wasn't part of that lock battle, so I can sit over here and,
eat your popcorn and just enjoy the show.
Yes. Right? But are you ready to pick?
The chat is live, and Lane Elliott's already saying Duke is puke, Wake is fake, and the team I hate the most is NC State.
Hey, that's I like it. Yes.
And I'm connecting a couple dots here. 3802er might be our guy Beijing Wings from the Discord chat, and if it is, that's good to know because we've seen 3802er on here before, but I never like I said was connecting the dots there. So anywho. What do we got here? What are we talking about?
Anywho, get in our Discord. Talk college football with us. Yes, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. All right, week 2. Are we ready to pick up where we left off and dominate?
I suppose so.
Okay. Here you go. For you,
talked me into it.
For you, here you go.
If I can change and you can change, everybody can change.
Yes!
Maybe the fruitiest song I've ever heard, but
it is a wild one.
Part of the rotation.
Exactly. And I'm going to make a point that, look, we look at this week 2 schedule and you say, week 1 seemed a lot better. These are the weeks that you fall asleep at the wheel and they end up being awesome. That's why I think we might have a wild one on our hands. So
hold on. So real quickly, and actually 3802 were correcting me. It's not Beijing Wings. I thought he called me Nick the pick or something. But anyway, Jaster, what's up, man? But so anyway, this week, guys, there's about 75 games with an FBS team, at least one, and 75% of those games have at least a double-digit spread.
Ouch.
Almost 50% is a 20-plus point spread. Oof. And almost 30% is a 30-plus point spread, including 3 spreads over 50.
And one of them is an FBS on an FBS, which is almost mind-numbing.
If you want to count Hawaii as an FBS this year.
Yeah, how the hell is that possible? But we'll get to those. Let's start out. Look, I think people are thinking, well, we got NFL Thursday night, and I know I talk to a lot of our fans, and there's some people that just don't really support the NFL, surprisingly.
Pick Dundee primarily.
No, dude, I bet the NFL. I watch the NFL. Yeah. Listen to the NFL gambling podcast. But Thursday night, you think, there's no college football game. I would argue that because UT Martin heads to Missouri State FCS. This is a top 25 battle. The only top 25 battle that we have going on in the FCS, and it comes to us Thursday night. Road rash face, Bobby Petrino at home, laying 12.5. Jason Shelley at quarterback, the Utah transfer. Then you got UT Martin. These two teams played in the FCS playoffs a season ago. UT Martin won by 32-31. They got a quarterback. His name is Dresser Wynn. What a name. Folks, what are we doing here? Missouri State minus 12.5. UT Martin beat them a season ago, but Missouri State's been licking their chops to get some revenge on the Skyhawks. Patty C?
Right off the bat, if you're talking about a team that beat another team by 1 point last year in the playoff and the spread's up at, what'd you say, 13?
12.5.
12.5. Then I'm thinking UT, or no, not Missouri State. It's UT Martin's pick.
Yeah. It's hard to disagree with that, but you also have the angle of all offseason. You said, we get these guys week 2. We're gonna get some revenge. Which is why, no, I'm not doing that. Give me the Skyhawks. No, you can't fade the Dresser win. All right. NC Nick, what are you doing?
Come on, man. You are road rash face. I think it's too easy to just grab the points here. And I think they're trying to trick you with that. So I'm going to go with the favorite. I'm going to lay the points. It's at Missouri State, I take it.
It is at Missouri State.
I'm going to go with the home team here. They remember. It's in the forefront of their minds what happened in the playoffs last year. Revenge, big time here. Give me Missouri State.
Boom. All right, now we hop on over to Friday. Oh, man, the moon bounce will be rocking. I got a feeling that the moon bounce, you're going to have people saying this.
They're begging us. Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us laid. Ow!
Guys, Louisville. I was on the over in Louisville. I am very concerned as Syracuse whooped that ass. I am on the over on Syracuse, though, and I told folks out there, watch out, Robert and I. Syracuse.
What am I missing on this spread, Colby? Nick?
Well, and this line opened at 6.5, and it went down. It's currently at 5.
Guys, real quick, we're getting some feedback here. Colby, you're a little loud, and that's what the chat is saying, and it's kind of the same in my headphones also. Can you turn yourself down a little bit?
Down there, buddy.
Trying to hog the mic, man. Trying to overpower Patty C and I. I know you had a good week 1, but come on.
Is it better now?
I think that's better.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
You were kind of shouting at me before, okay? Ouch, you're shouting.
I'm seeing that it's perhaps StreamYard in the chat. But, okay, Louisville, fresh off of an ass whooping that I didn't see coming. Malik Cunningham only threw for like 100 and some yards, had 2 picks, only ran for 30-something, I believe. Heads into the moon bounce. This line opened at 6.5. It's down to 5. And I hate to start things off with your boy Dundee because did you see John Rice Plumlee and what he did? I know it was just South Carolina State, but that stat line is absolute fire against South. He threw for 308 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, 86 yards rushing as well. Well, look, Robert and I took Garrett Schrader and Garrett Schrader just shredded Louisville. He's a former wide receiver. John Rice Plumlee's a former wide receiver.
Good point.
Louisville just gave up 449 yards of offense to Syracuse. Well, I think UCF's offense is better than Syracuse's. Give me UCF minus the points. Who's coming with me?
I'm with you.
I'm coming with you, and I'm locking it. First FBS game, first lock. This
Triple
is
lock.
ridiculous to me. I mean,
Lock it up. Lock it up.
we're talking about a Syracuse team that sucked last year. Sure, have they probably improved? Yes, but they throttled Louisville last week. That's of the sample size that we have of Louisville, it's basically saying they suck this year. And Malik Cunningham cost me like $9,700 on DFS last week and produced like 2 points. So screw him, all right? And John Rice Plumlee. And that's really the difference between Rich Rodriguez's version of the spread and Gus Malzahn's is you can actually you can rack up some passing yards. I guess it's happened before with Rich Rod with like Denard Robinson or whatever, but generally speaking, it's more of a running stat kind of system. Whereas I think Malzahn, you get a little bit of both. So expect Plumlee to put up big numbers again.
Triple lock to start things off.
And the one thing we haven't mentioned yet, all good points by you guys, but this is also a big-time revenge game like our FCS game we just mentioned from last year. Last year, Louisville won 42-35 on a pick six with under 20 seconds to go. It was a brutal loss, and I know UCF has this game circled. I circled it when we were doing our team previews, and I said UCF is going to win this. Now, sure, I wish the line was more at like 3 or 4. I think it's a couple points higher just because Louisville looked so bad against Syracuse. Either way, I think UCF is at least a touchdown better team this year. So I'll lay the points. I'll lock it up. I'm a little concerned that from what I hear, everybody's on UCF.
Yeah, with great reason. But sometimes, every once in a while, everyone gets it right.
That's right.
So look, if you're locking that one up, to quote the great Shawshank Redemption, maybe you want to come a little further. You remember the name of the town, don't you? Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I thought it was Sewantaneo.
Boise State heads into Albuquerque. Folks, Boise State got rolled by my Oregon State Beavers. And there was a little bit of Hank Bachmeier got benched for Taylon Green. Taylon Green was 19 of 28 for $155 and a pick, but he did rush for over 100 yards. One of those was a 75-yard rush. Boise State, I'm assuming they're going to go back to Bachmeier. He's the veteran, but they got a little bit of something on their hands there. They're 11-1 all-time against New Mexico. New Mexico, though, coming off of a 41-0 shutout home win against the Maine Black Bears, where former Kansas quarterback Miles Kendrick, who transferred in, was 14 of 17 for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Folks, this is what I'm saying. Come a little further because this line, it's jumped around. It was at 16. I did get mine in at 16.5, but it's at 17 currently. I don't care. I am locking up Boise State minus 17. They're too good I see this as like a 45-10, maybe a 45-7. Give me Boise State minus 17. On the road in Albuquerque.
It could be a similar score to what you just mentioned because in the last 5 games, the score has averaged to be about 40.2 for Boise and 11.6 for New Mexico. I heard you on the main SGP show lock this up too. I was like, oh come on, we're both going to come out the gates with 2 similar locks, but I'm with you. I'm going Boise. I think they roll.
Patty C.
I mean, look. Here's what it comes down to for me is I know Boise had some close losses last year, and I need to be sold on Oregon State a little bit more than I am, but I'm still not sold yet. And all that says to me, it says that Oregon State looks good, but it says maybe Boise State doesn't look that great. And when you factor in New Mexico State beating an above average Maine team by 41 last week, I'm not only not locking it, I'm rolling with the Lobos to cover.
There you go. Insano in the chat agrees, and we know Insano's a sharp dude. So, all right, we got a little 2-on-2 battle here.
All right, I'm locking that thing. See, Nick locking Boise State minus 17. Now let's hop into Saturday's action. But before we do, I want to tell you folks out there that The college football experience is brought to you by WinBet. Yes, bet $100 at WinBet. Get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the free roll football contest. Yes, college football contest. We're giving away $1,500 up for grabs. What are you doing? Get in. The free roll football contests are here. The NFL contest, get this. We're giving away $5,000 and a 2-night stay at the Wynn Las Vegas, which I'm currently at. This place is fucking great. All right. Sign up exclusively in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We're also brought to you by the Elias Sports Bureau. Football fans, the NFL regular season is finally here. And as week 1 kicks off, you get ready. All right. Get ready to place your bets or lock in on your fantasy team by checking out the Elias Game Plan app, the ultimate sports betting and fantasy companion for the NFL, NBA, MLB. I mean, Elias Game Plan is the only sports app from the most trusted name in sports stats. Yes, the Elias Sports Bureau, the official statisticians of U.S. pro leagues, including the NFL. And let me tell you, their app has lets you have access to team and player stats, head-to-head comparisons, Elias key insights from their renowned research team. I mean, this app really is a one-stop source. They'll give you player news, league-validated player stats, team records, expert game analysis for betting. They'll help you with your fantasy lineups for each week. What are you doing, folks? NFL season's here, so don't wait. Download the Elias Game Plan app today. And right now, I have a special offer when you subscribe. Get a 14-day free trial. Yeah, 14 days off a monthly subscription plan, people. But only if you use the promo code SGPN. Yes, find Elias Game Plan Sports Betting in the App Store or Google Play Store today and use the promo code SGPN. All right, we are back Saturday morning. It is a lot of fun. And it is fun when you get in early on a bet when you have no idea. I had no knowledge that Sam Hartman was coming back, but I bet this early like I think it was either Sunday night or Monday morning. So I got a great number on this, but I'm going to call it right now at 12. Wake Forest -12 at Vanderbilt. Folks, I hate to keep doing this. I'm locking up Wake Forest -12 at Vandy. If you watched the Vanderbilt Elon game last week, Elon got down to the 1-yard line and almost made that a game. They got stopped on 4th and goal, but that was a closer game than people realize. I think Wake is going to lay it on Vandy. I don't think Vandy has the offense to keep up with Wake. I think Brad Lambert and that defense is going to dial it back. I'm laying the 12. Who's coming with me?
I'm not at the point of locking.
Neither am I. I'm on your same side. I think Vanderbilt's offense has improved this year. I like the quarterback, Mike Wright. I think, obviously bad competition so far, Hawaii and Elon, but he's a dual threat. I think, come on. With Hartman back, is Hartman rusty? Can he just step in and perform? Probably. He's been around for forever. So I'll take Wake, but I'm not going to lock it with you.
Patty C?
Yeah. I mean, just because Vandy put up that performance against Hawaii, obviously we don't know much else about Hawaii at this point. Elon 6-5 at the FCS level. What was that?
I would argue we do know a lot about Hawaii.
Well, yeah, Western Kentucky too.
They suck ass. All right.
49-17. Sure.
Sounds like there's an echo too, guys.
Sounds like there's an echo. Is that people in the chat saying that, or is that?
No, that's me saying it.
I hear a little something.
Anybody else picking that up? Oh, well,
a little bit.
Plow through it.
Either way,
like Patty C on a Saturday night, just plow through
with any fat chick I can find. Look, Wake Forest a little bit better than 13. I'm seeing 13, and I'll still take Wake.
Yeah, I think Brad Lambert will shut down this attack, and from like Elon's defense, Hawaii's defense, that's nothing to me. All right, that's
now Wake's defense, not great either.
Yeah. So I don't know. Give me Wake. I think Wake's gonna roll, but dude, Lambert's gonna do work. Watch out for Wake.
Yeah, I think they have a chance to be better, but they're probably not there yet. And better is still, like average.
I'm telling you, they're gonna roll them. Give me
sucks.
It's gonna be 52-20 final.
I think speaking of DFS, I think this is a game where you might want to have some guys.
That is true. Well, next up, Arkansas State, fresh off of an ass whooping. Well, Hugh Jackson, welcome to college football. He just like he did with the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, granted, it was Grambling against Arkansas State, but still, 58-3. Not a good start.
Making old Butch Jones look like a gangster.
Yes, NC Nick, you're a Sunbelt guy. You going to take the 45 points?
I'm actually laying it. I think the Buckeyes here, I think the fans aren't happy with their week 1 performance. The offense was sluggish. There was injury issues. I think they come out and just lay it on the Red Wolves big time.
Patty C, 45 points. Too much?
Yes, I refuse to fade a team by 45 that just won by, 55 the week before. I don't care the level of
logic.
Yeah, so I am going to go Arkansas State to cover, especially until Ohio State shows it. Sometimes it takes a few weeks for them to work it out.
I will join Patty C. I'm going to take the points. I look for something like a 51-7 final, but I do not like this, and I would not bet this. So stay away, folks. All right, staying on the 9 a.m. slate here on the West, noon on the East. Southern Miss, Frank Gore Jr. taking on Frank Gore Sr.'s alma mater. In Miami Gardens at the Hard Rock, hotel. I don't know. Southern Miss at Miami. Southern Miss getting 25 points. I watched every snap of that Southern Miss Liberty game. Well, first off, Southern Miss, their quarterback did get knocked out on an absolutely vicious hit to the face.
Colby loved every second.
Well, the quarterback was a little bit of a jackass because he jumped in the air. He pulled a slinging Sammy ball. All right, like he jumped in the air to throw a pass, and the linebacker for Liberty or safety. I think it might have been a safety for Liberty. Just completely destroyed Ty Keys, and I think he's still injured. I don't know his status.
It's questionable right now. I think it's up in the air again. I mean, Southern Miss had all those injury problems at quarterback last year, and more of the same this year.
Football's back, baby, because that hit was absolutely fantastic, in my opinion.
Hey, what about this angle? Frank Gore Jr. against his dad's alma mater.
True.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, I'm
taking the points.
I'm going to lay the 25. I think they're going to roll them. I don't know that Southern Miss will have the offense. Is Frank Gore Jr. going to play quarterback? They're going to run out of the Wildcat again?
He played some last week, and he played some last year.
Either way, at Miami just destroyed Bethune-Cookman. I am taking the Canes minus the points, and I'll tell you this right now. Fringe lock potential. I might be locking this one up come this weekend. Shout out to Brian Sanders and Pat Fisher in the chat.
What's up, guys?
Next up. So hold on, wait, Patty C, what are you doing here?
I am taking the points. It's tempting because Miami put up 70 last week, but I think Southern Miss was competitive enough that Miami's not going to steamroll this team, and I just don't think I want to see Miami really blow out a decent team before I start giving them 25 points. So,
all right, we move along. The Ohio Bobcats. Oh man, was I on the wrong side? NC Nick was right. The game that smelled like Courtney Love's vagina was certainly the Ohio Florida Atlantic game last week.
Out of all the games, we saw FAU crush Charlotte, and then they come into Ohio, and there was only -3.5, I think.
Yeah,
-4 maybe. I didn't have a good feel for the game. I just thought the line stunk. That's why I went home dog. Paid off.
And you got it. Your Bobcats came through. Now they head to Happy Valley. They're going to Beaver Stadium. They are getting 25.5 points. Folks, what are we doing here? NC Nick.
Yeah, I mean, they treated me right last week, so maybe sentimental. I'm taking them again. Not going to bet it, not going to lock it up. The Penn State offense didn't look great. I mean, there's a chance they just, beat them by 40, sure. But I guess I'm going to lean on taking the points here.
I am laying the points. I'm taking Penn State. I think Ohio having to come into this hostile of a place. I think Penn State's going to be ready. I think Penn State's going to want to establish the run because They did not look good on the ground in West Lafayette.
They haven't looked good on the ground in a couple years.
Well, that's why you put a MAC team on the schedule, because you might be able to look good on the ground. Give me Penn State minus 25. Patty C, what are you doing?
Definitely a different environment for Penn State. Went into a bit of a hornet's nest last week. They get the nice home crowd this week, but I'm with Nick. I'm seeing eye to eye with Nick. I'm taking Ohio to cover the 25.5.
So second place, you guys just no. All right. You know what I mean?
Just ignoring it.
Next up, this game's pretty fucking great. South Carolina heads into Fayetteville, Arkansas. Spencer Rattler is getting 8.5 points. He's a vegan, and he's taking on Sam Pulled Pork Pittman. You might have some problems, folks.
He didn't look that good last week either.
They had 2 block. Dude, I locked up Georgia State, and I didn't hit on that because South Carolina had 2 blocked punts, one of them for a touchdown, the other one like inside the 20. Absolutely ridiculous special teams by Georgia State.
Georgia State was up 14-12 in the third quarter. This was a ball game.
Yeah.
Let's not act like this wasn't the son of maybe the greatest special teams coach ever leading that. You know, can we give some credit where it's due?
Sure.
I mean, if Georgia State has terrible special teams, is it possible that South Carolina has great special teams?
Perhaps. And it's possible that Mike Houston, that JMU mole, has terrible special teams. All right.
So somebody tell me why I shouldn't take the points here. I mean, Arkansas didn't look great against Cincinnati. They did enough to win and barely cover. A similar spread, 8.5. Tell me why I shouldn't take the points.
I wasn't overly impressed with Arkansas. I thought Cincinnati left a lot of points on the board. Now, I'll say this. The Arkansas ground game, I was impressed. The defense, I was not very impressed. I thought Ben Bryant had open receivers. Several, like, if he just stopped overthrowing these wideouts, they kind of left a lot of points on the board. They also had 2 field goals missed. One of them a chip shot. The other one I think was like from 50, but hit off the upright. I just wasn't. I guess both teams kind of disappointed to me, even though they won. Give me Carolina in the points. Patty C?
What you guys are saying is true. And then if you consider Georgia State winning 7 of their last 8 last year, with their only loss being a 4-point loss to 12-1, I believe, Louisiana, that's a pretty good end of the year. They were the team we thought they were going to be toward the end of the year. And if they return as much talent as Nick said they did, which is still a large amount, then maybe Georgia State's pretty good. That's a 21-point win over a good team. All that said, I just feel like Cincinnati's a damn good team, and Arkansas kept having the answer for them. So I'm taking the Razorbacks at home.
I'm with Patty C. I think in Fayetteville, I went back and forth on this game. At first, I was leaning Gamecocks. I think in Fayetteville matters. And I'm not sure what the South Carolina team is yet. I at this point, I just have more faith and confidence in the Razorbacks. Go Hogs.
Making some interesting points. But you know what? Give me the 8.5. I just think they can hang around. Spencer Rattler will complete those deep bombs because I saw some opportunity in that secondary for Arkansas. So hopefully they'll be able to hang around there. Give me a.
Beamer's got some magic, man.
He does. What about magic going on in, say, West Point, New York, or UTSA? Which, by the way, I don't know. I know Patty C caught this because I was with him. The UTSA Houston game, fucking awesome. That was a wild game. UTSA is laying 2.5 on the road against the Black Knights. Army Coastal Carolina was a fun game as well. Does Army bounce back and take the Roadrunners? Meep. I am riding my UTSA Roadrunners because I just think they lost last week. They should have won that game. They were up 21-7 in the fourth. Really, really let them off the hook. But I think they bounce back and get a dub against Army. Patty C.
Look, I said they were going to lose 3 in a row, but I was very impressed with UTSA as well. I still think Army's a good team, but this is a tough one. In New York, but I'm going to take UTSA.
Well, it's a big game. I mean, it's neither of these teams who were very good last year wanted to start the season 0-2. So I think it's a huge game. Yep. Army gave up 263 yards on the ground against Coastal. Meanwhile, UTSA had more success in the air versus Houston. I think this is the game where UTSA gets the ground game going. Give me those Roadrunners.
Meep. Surprised all three of us went with the Roadrunners.
Sounds like the chat is with us too.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Leathernecks. What a great nickname, Western Illinois. They just got their ass kicked by UT Martin, and now they head to Minneapolis to take on PJ Fleck. Row the boat, baby. Look, Patty C locked up New Mexico State plus 37.5 in Minneapolis. They lost 38-0. Can the Leathernecks cover 37.5? I say no. Give me Minnesota. I'm laying the points. Minnesota's defense is pretty impressive, and I think Mohamed Ibrahim against the Leathernecks, it's not going to happen. He's going to run right through that defense. I'm laying the 37.5. Nick?
I'm with you. I think Minnesota scores at least the 40s, and they probably limit Western Illinois to like 7 or 10 points. So I think they can squeak out a cover here. Give me the Gophers.
Patty C?
Got to agree with you. Minnesota 38-0 against whatever competition. Western Illinois, a 7-point loss last week against FCS competition. I'll say Minnesota does it again. Ibrahim, isn't he have like 10 straight games with 100 yards rushing? Keep that streak going. It's tough to bet against him.
He's a beast. He's a complete beast. All right, moving along. 9 a.m. slate, man. We got some barn burners here. And this one in Atlanta, shout out to North Carolina playing back-to-back away games in the Sun Belt.
Seriously. ACC in general is going on the road early in the season. You got Louisville at UCF. You got this one here. Duke at Northwestern. I mean, the ACC, say what you want. They're challenging themselves on the road.
Well, yeah, and this one, the line is I'm seeing this at 7, a flat 7. I am a bit perplexed by this one. Georgia State played solid, but I don't think they can. Georgia State's style of football, I don't think this is a bad matchup. They don't have the offense to stay, even with North Carolina's bad defense, they don't have the offense to stay in rhythm with that. I am laying the 7 points, and I am locking up. Why is my sound so far down? There we go. I am locking up. Did you guys hear that sound, or is my
device? It's staticky, man.
Anyway, I am laying the 7 points with North Carolina. Lock it up for your boy Pick Dundee.
That's very tempting. Not gonna lie. I mean, for a team that lost by 21 last week to a South Carolina team that's probably traditionally been about on North Carolina's level, you would expect North Carolina to cover that. Granted, it's on the road. I don't know. I'm taking North Carolina. I'm tempted to lock it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the second half of a back-to-back. Georgia State's quarterback, Darren Granger, last week, 7 of 29 for 111, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I know they're going to pound the rock with their 2 good running backs, but I completely agree with Colby's analysis. They don't have the offense to hang with UNC. UNC's offense is going to put up points on anybody, and this is just a bad matchup for Georgia State. Much better chance to beat South Carolina, who isn't a prolific offensive team. I don't see that happening against UNC. I was kind of waiting, hoping the line would drop to back to 7 or to below it to lock it up. On Tally's side, it's still at 7.5. Fuck it. Let's lock it up.
Boom, Patty C.
Let me ask you this. Any concern that Florida A&M put 24 on North Carolina, right, but then only put 3 on Jackson State the following week?
Oh, their defense sucks. The UNC defense sucks. There's no doubt about that. Colby thought in the preseason that their defense might make some strides with Chiswick back as a DC. Hasn't happened yet, even though they got some talented guys.
It might not need to happen. Remember, I took them in the Coastal, and I also took them over 7 wins. They're going to go to 3-0, and this quarterback is the real deal. And I think they're putting up 50 or more in Atlanta at the house that Terry Pendleton built.
Well, Georgia State ain't going to put up 50. That's for sure. So
I'll ride with you guys. Triple lock that.
Triple lock? Why is my audio down, man? I don't understand what the hell.
By the way, I also am locking Minnesota to cover 37 against
playing with fire again. They're playing Western Illinois. Yeah, Colby, you might have to just cut out that soundboard, man.
It just happened, though. I don't understand what just happened. Why? I don't know. Anyway, folks, let's keep it going. My apologies as we are on the road here, and I don't know how that just all of a sudden went out, but it did. Anyway, let's keep it going. Next up, that is a triple lock, by the way. UNC, Georgia State, we're laying the 7 with the Tar Heels. We move along. Alabama is taking on the Texas Longhorns. Whoa, this line has come down. This opened up at 21 points. I am seeing it at a solid, I've seen this correctly, 19 and a half right now. I'm tempted to lock this one.
I am locking this one. This is obvious. Alabama is going to steamroll this team. What are we talking about here? Every single year, Alabama early in the season plays a non-conference game against a big name that often isn't, up to their normal or their championship standard, USC, for example, and the result is a 50-point win or a 40-point win by Alabama. 3 touchdowns, easy. Alabama covers this. Lock it.
Actually, Colby opened up at 17. It was Sunday afternoon at 17. I got a bunch of money must have came in on Alabama automatically, bumped it up to 20 or so, and it's kind of fluctuated a little bit. I'm good with anything less than 3 touchdowns. Go Bama.
Yeah, are you locking it, Nick?
Lock it up.
All right, I'll lock it up with you, folks. I tried to play this. We are locking up the Alabama Crimson Tide minus 19.5 points on the road in Austin. Quinn Ewers, not so fast.
Also, Patrick Fisher, we all triple locked UCF too. You missed it, man. You tuned in late, buddy.
So next up on the slate here is, I'm very intrigued with this one. The Duke Blue Devils heading to Evanston, Illinois to take on the Northwestern Wildcats. I was kind of blown away by how good Duke looked. And it wasn't just the fact that Duke dominated that game. They just looked prepped. They looked incredibly prepped. And every play, me and Stack and the Money Green were watching that one. And I was like, is it me or are they in the right spot every single play? Whether they threw it on offense, whether they were covering it on defense, they just looked extremely prepped. And I was very high on the Mike Elko hire, which is why, even though Pat Fitzgerald looked good, that offense, it looked good against Nebraska. But if you caught Tommy Schuster in the North Dakota Fighting Hawks last week, Nebraska's defense wasn't necessarily setting the world on fire against the FCS North Dakota Fighting Hawks. I think it's more of a story of Nebraska's bad defense. Give me Duke plus 10. And folks, I might be locking this one up.
Oh, man.
Fuck it. Let's lock it. Mike Elko is going to be able to shut down this Northwestern offense. Let's go. I know there were a lot of locks are rolling right now. This was front loaded. Who's coming with me?
No.
I'm on Duke, but I'm not locking it.
I'm going to lay the points. Look, I'm a proceed with caution type guy when it comes to Duke football because I've seen
understatement
how low we've been as recent as 2 games ago, if you go back to last year. So, look, great start. I was high on the Elko hire too, but guys, there's a chance Temple is just god-awful.
And Nebraska is also god-awful.
Nebraska isn't god-awful. They still have talent. They still got players. I think Northwestern at home, they win by 10.
Well, buddy, I hate to tell you this, but you said go back 2 games ago. You go back 2 games ago, Northwestern was dog shit. All right, let's go. They lost 47-14 2 games ago to Illinois. Who knew Illinois could score? Give me Duke plus 10. Duke's won 4 out of the last 5 in this series. Let's go.
But there's a new coach now. I don't know if that matters for this game. I hear you. I hope you're right.
I'm going to disregard Nick's opinion when it comes to Duke. He fades them harder than Colby fades NC State.
Interesting. And I'm a Duke fan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, especially in basketball, but.
Yeah, you save all your arrogance. Actually, I don't know what it is, but you're very, very conservative about rooting for Duke. And maybe you don't want to come across as a cocky Duke fan. You've probably been called it a lot in your life.
I strong believe in the jinx. So similar to you and
jinxing 'em.
UVA. You and UVA, you tend to you downplay, So I hear you.
True. Now let me ask you this: Zach Roper, Mr. Roper, is the offensive coordinator. Three's Company here. You got to represent Mr. Roper. That's our offensive coordinator. Can you bet against that with Mike Elko as the defensive coordinator? No. That's a team that's going places. And I think Northwestern, you're right. Nebraska may be a little suspect. So that win doesn't mean as much. So I'm riding Duke.
All right. Well, when I win this bet, beers on me at the Regal Beagle. Okay.
Shout out to the Regal Beagle. All right. Next up, we got this one. Interesting one here in Manhattan, Kansas, because I'll be honest, wasn't overly impressed with the stat line Adrian Martinez put out in the Little Apple last week against South Dakota. Now the defense stepped up because they shut out South Dakota, but Adrian Martinez was 11 of 15, 73% for 53 yards, and at 3 yards a completion. 3 yards a completion.
Terrell Furman looked like a genius.
yes, but I'm my theory, or I'm just going to die hard on this. He had 39 yards rushing on 13 attempts too. That wasn't great, but he did have a touchdown. I'm just of the opinion they're keeping it vanilla. They know on deck they have the Missouri Tigers, which is this week. This is an awesome game because this is a rivalry that goes back to 1909, folks. They were in the Big 8 together. They were in the Big 12 together. I get it. Martinez, a little bit of a question mark, but K-State's defense showed up. Their special teams showed up. Deuce Vaughn ran for 126 and a score. And then on the other side of things, you have Missouri. They started Brady Cook, which I think was the second start of his career. He was 18 of 27 for 201, a touchdown and a pick. And I will say this, that five-star freshman Luther Burden, the third, even though he only had 3 receptions for 17 yards and 3 rushes for 26 yards, he had 2 touchdowns, and he passed the eye test.
He looked the part.
He looked like an NFL player. The question is right now Missouri has the number 1 run defense in the country, and that's a lot to do with La Tech throwing like 1,000 passes in that game, running the air raid. But last year they were in the hundreds. I believe they were in the around 120 in run defense. Can they fix the run defense? Is it fixed perhaps? And we just didn't see it.
It got better as last year went on. There was a point like mid-season where they were like dead last, and I think it creeped up into they improved. It got into like the low hundreds, maybe even 90s. Don't quote me on that, but it got a little bit better as the season went on, for what it's worth.
Yeah. So the spread is 8 in the Little Apple. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
I think anything more than a touchdown is way too many points and kind of a coin flip game. I'm gonna lean K-State to win, but I got Missouri covering. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be an exciting game, back and forth. I expect some points here. I don't think you can lay over a touchdown on Kansas State. Sorry, give me Mizzou.
Patty C, what are you doing here?
Agree completely on all points.
I think you just swayed me. I was on that at 7. I was like thinking, okay, K-State can win by more than 7. Once it jumped up a little bit to 8, I think I go Missouri. It's easy.
I think it's almost lock-worthy to take the points here. I know Manhattan's a dangerous place. That's the only thing that's kind of keeping me away from it.
And Missouri beating Louisiana Tech. I know Louisiana Tech was only 3-9 last year, but they're basically like the Nebraska of the Group of 5. A lot of close losses, and they were a better team than their record indicates. So beating them by 28, pretty impressive for Missouri.
The one thing Drinkwitz is doing, he's bringing talent to Columbia. I mean, you're stacking a couple nice recruiting classes on top of each other now.
Yeah, but this will be, on the other side of that coin is the fact that we just mentioned that Brady Cook's only started a couple games. This is his first real road test, and his place will be rocking. I guarantee you that. I'll take the 8. K-State wins. Give me a 27-20 final. Let's go.
Does K-State hate Missouri? Is there real hate there?
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah, they've been playing a long time.
Yeah, back in the Big 8 days.
Yeah.
I mean, border battle. Got to be some hate there.
There we go. All right, next up we got it's kind of a shitty one, but NC State's hosting Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern Buccaneers, they're getting 45.5 points in Raleigh. Give me NC State, I guess. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
I took the points, man. That offense for NC State did not look great. And they're not going to go all out here. They're going to play pretty conservative. They're going to win like 48-7 or something. Give me the point.
All right, you swayed me. Give me the Buccaneers. Patty C, what are you doing with Charleston Southern and NC State?
I wouldn't touch this either, but I guess you have to lean Charleston Southern after last week. But I don't know. I mean, that offense was impressive, even though ECU stepped it up and kind of shut it down. Let's not forget that they stopped 2 drives at the goal line, So that could have been 35 points, and we would have been singing a different tune about NC State.
Yeah, but they also blocked a punt for a touchdown. ECU threw a couple picks in their territory.
Uncharacteristic picks by Holt Nailers there, your boy.
Yeah, it was nonsense. Bunch of nonsense. That game
He's got a terrible throwing motion, man. He is ugly to look at.
Hey, he played better than Devin Leary, though. Next up, South Alabama, Central Michigan. Fire up chips. This is a strange game. Sunbelt, MAC. South Alabama was one of my locks last week.
Same here. I rode with you.
That was easy.
Easy money.
Now they head up, and I was actually impressed with Central Michigan at Oklahoma State. I think with the exception of like a 7 to 8 minute stretch where the momentum got really bad for them, they played pretty damn well. I'm going to lay the 4.5, even though the Sun Belt normally kicks the shit out of the MAC. Nick?
That was basically my breakdown. I like both these teams in their respective divisions this year, but I do think the Sun Belt is head and shoulders above the MAC, so I'm going to take the points.
Patty C?
Oh, I went back and forth on this one. You know what? I went Central Michigan, but I think I was close to going South Alabama, so you guys have swayed me to switch it over.
Well, Colby's on Central Michigan, so.
Oh, you're on Central Michigan?
Yeah.
You're the tiebreaker, buddy.
Volume jumping around here. Sorry, I misheard that. Well, now I don't know what the hell to do. I don't know. I mean, do you really think the Sun Belt is better than? I mean, South Alabama 5-7 last year. Central Michigan has been a solid MAC program for a long time. Look, any team that has Janarius Johnson on the defensive line has my vote, so I am swaying over to South Alabama.
Going with the Janarius Johnson, I get it. Yeah, that game's a tough game to predict. I really think I think I'm going to go chips, but I am concerned. I mean, how about this, though? South Alabama only beat Bowling Green by 3 last year. All right? That was at Bowling Green. For some reason, South Alabama loves to get into the MAC.
Tell me why this game isn't on like tonight, Wednesday night. Nobody's going to watch this on Saturday, but it's an interesting game.
Yeah, it is. And they're really dropping the ball. It sucks. Seriously. Next up.
Hey, by the way, just to dial it back on the chat a little bit, Insano says Charleston Southern gave up 616 yards of offense to Western Carolina.
Ooh.
That stat alone almost makes me want to go NC State.
You know what? I am going to switch.
The chat switched me as well.
Good nugget there. Good nugget there, Insano.
Getting in there. The Thunderbirds, they head to Salt Lake City, Southern Utah, at Utah. This game is just silly. Folks, this line is currently at Utah minus 44.5. I like the in-state battle going on here, but I'll lay the points on this one. NC Nick?
I got Southern Utah at 45.5. They lose 55-10 and get the cover by the hook.
I don't know.
So
specific. I'm rolling Southern Utah. Little in-state hatred that gives them the extra edge to get the cover.
All right, next up, Lafayette heads into Temple. Wow, gonna be taking on the Temple Owls, who were dog shit in week 1. Stan Drayton era, not necessarily starting off with the bang. Temple's laying 18.5, and for some stupid reason, I'm taking it. I'm laying the 18 with the Temple Owls. What are you doing here, NC Nick?
So this is not Louisiana Lafayette. This is just Lafayette. I'll take the points, man.
Lafayette is 1-0. They won 6-0 last week against Sacred Heart. They scored more. Temple didn't score any points.
Momentum is a real thing.
This might be another 6-0 score.
Temple Lafayette. This is the epitome of Northeast football. Have at it, Patty C.
Wasn't Sacred Heart a playoff team last year?
Yeah.
And Lafayette shut them out. Granted, they only scored 6.
People say their defense is a little reminiscent of the 85 Bears.
I don't know. But on principle, I'm going Lafayette because Temple just sucks.
Well, I mean, that might just be the fact. Look, Lafayette, I'm looking at what they gave up right now. This was a team that had 111 yards of offense last week. And they won. They won with 100. Get this.
Is Kirk Ferentz' son the head coach?
You ready for this? They threw for 8 yards.
Wow. I don't know.
8 yards. Shout out to Ryan Schuster, the Leopards quarterback, who was I'm seeing this. This cannot be correct. This has to be in there.
I'm going Temple.
The numbers I'm seeing are 8 of 17 yards and 2 interceptions. And by the way, Lafayette's rushing attack, they had 1 yard rushing.
I don't think we have an over-under, though, is in FCS versus FBS, do we?
No, but this cannot be. I got to pull this up on the. I got to go to.
How did they score? Was it a block punt? I'll give Temple credit. They held Duke to 6 points in the second half last week. Maybe they figured it out in the second half.
Dude, Ryan Schuster did have an 18-yard touchdown run, but ESPN has showed me the same thing. 8 of 17 for 8 yards and 2 interceptions.
They missed the extra point too. They had an 18-yard touchdown run.
Meanwhile, Sacred Heart threw for 228. How the hell did they lose?
Oh my gosh, this was a fascinating one that we had. Look, they had total yards, 113 total yards. Sacred Heart had 310, and they got blanked. They had 3 times the offense of the Leopards. Give me Temple.
You would have loved this game. Give me Temple. I switched.
You know what? Give me Temple. I'm locking it up, Temple. Give me Temple. I'm locking it up. You got it.
This team beat Sacred Heart last year, we said. They beat Sacred Heart, who was a playoff team last year.
Yeah.
I can't understate my value of the FCS here, so I am rolling Lafayette.
Lafayette was 1 of 11 on 3rd down and 0 for 1 on 4th.
Lock it up, Patty C.
I'm not locking it up, but Duke sucks. Prove it to me, Duke. Or not Duke, Temple.
I'm taking Temple. I'm locking this. I'm going back. I'm locking this. Temple's gonna wax them, dude. This is not a. They had 19 punts in that game. Shout out to Insano in the chat. All right, next up, we got a barn burner in the MAC. Starting off with conference play. This should be a Tuesday night game. Western Michigan heading to Muncie, Indiana. Well, I can tell you this, guys. I don't know if you guys caught that Western Michigan Michigan State game. Been impressed. I was really impressed with their starting quarterback, Jack Salapak, the freshman. Hey,
he beat out the Alabama transfer.
Yes, and
Max Hollenbach, I think his name is.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I am laying the 6.5 on the road in Muncie. It's going to be a game, but I think Western Michigan is the better team. Nick?
Look, in the MAC, you take the points. And in general, when it's 6.5, you take the points. Give me Ball State to cover. Ball State won 45-20 last year.
That's true. But
that's the stat right there.
Patty C, what are you doing?
What do you think, Cole? These are my boys. Am I going to fade them? I will not fade the boys from Muncie.
You know what? You just sold me. Let's go Ball State. All right. Let's go Ball State. I'm switching my pick to Ball State, people. Shop till you drop. Maction is happening Saturday this week for some strange reason. All right. Next up. Before we get to the next game, which is actually an interesting game, I got to get us paid one more time. I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Fubo TV. Yes. If you watch football, you need Fubo TV. Fubo TV gives you complete coverage of college and pro football with NFL Red Zone plus games in 4K at no extra charge. They have over 100 channels of live sports and entertainment for a fraction of the price of cable. You can watch it on all your devices. Never miss a game or an episode. of your favorite shows with the included cloud-based DVR. Plus, there's no contract, there's no commitment, and you can cancel at any time. Right now, you can try Fubo TV for free for 7 days and get 15% off your first month. Just go to FuboTV.com/SGP. That's FUBOTV.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by PromoGuide.us. Yes, for all you sports bettors out there, I want to tell you that the best new way to increase your bankroll is called PromoGuide.us. Yes, at PromoGuide.us, you can get the biggest bonuses from all the best sports books in the country. We're talking $1,000 risk-free deposits, insane odd boosts, and most importantly, the best analytics in the business, plus tons of free picks as well. PromoGuide.us is the guide to betting smart. Once again, that's PromoGuide.us. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. Yeah, Sleeper's the fastest new growing fantasy platform today with millions of different players. You probably already have a fantasy league on there. I know I do, and it is a game-changing product unlike anything else in the industry. They have their brand new over-under game, which is absolutely fantastic. You can pick. I did it this weekend with college football, even though I thought I was on the right side with Matthew Downing and Louisiana Tech's quarterback, but he got benched right before I could hit the over on that. La Tech as the team did hit the over on that number, but I was on the wrong side of that. But it's a lot of fun doing this over-under game. You select 2 or more players based on their stat projections, and you select you like the over or the under, and if you win, you can win anywhere from 2 times to up to 20 times the amount of money you put in. So, folks, join our right now on your mobile phone. Join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/SGP, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. Once again, that's promo code SGP, sleeper.com/SGP. You'll get $100 match. All right, we are back.
Colby, you kind of look like you're at like a game show. You're about to like open up the curtains and have like some people dancing
Barker
behind you or
over here.
something.
Wouldn't that be great? I would love to do that.
Also new to the chat, Jake Singer saying Patty C with the Puma Jeezy.
Oh.
I don't know what the Jeezy is. I don't know if he's just saying G. What is Jeezy?
I don't know, dude. There's probably something young kids say these days. I'm too old.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, hold on. We're going to pause as we go to side B of the podcast here.
Oh,
so
side B is where we get loose, remember?
Yes. We got some locks. We're about to get loose on side B on the college football experience. And we're back on the college football experience. Side 2. Go listen to side 1, folks. As we continue to have some fun here, talking week 2 college football, folks. I can tell you this much. I can tell you that I kind of like this one. Marshall heads into Notre Dame. Marshall is catching 20 points in South Bend. Am I crazy, or is this line a little too steep? Give me the Thundering Herd and the points. Patty C, what are you doing here?
This one was tough, especially Marshall looking good, 55-3 last week. But Notre Dame, 20 points. I think it's 20 and a half.
20 and a half right now. Sorry.
It's close. It's close. I lean Notre Dame, though.
That defense did look good, but I think Marshall is going to get up for this. This is their chance to play Notre Dame. They've never done that at school. I think they're going to get up for this, much like Toledo did a year ago. I'm going to take the points. Notre Dame's going to get the win, but it's going to be something like, I don't know. Give me like a 31 to, I don't know,
17.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Too many points. I mean, look, Marshall's a decent program. They got, decent players. Notre Dame's just not going to roll them over. Not going to steamroll them. This isn't, a MAC opponent or an FCS opponent. We're talking about Sunbelt here. Come on now. Give me the points. Marshall covers this.
This team had a 4-point lead against Ohio State, I want to say, in the, fourth quarter this past week? A 3-point lead. What was it, 7-10, if I'm not mistaken, or was Ohio State? I'm drawing a blank on how that game played out. But I know Notre Dame was in it pretty late. And Ohio State's pretty considerably better than Marshall. That said, you guys might be right. I don't have a feel for it, so I don't know what to tell you. I've still got Notre Dame. I do want to see more from Buckner. And yes, this is a mango chelada. Delicious.
How's the audio doing on this, by the way, guys? I know the audio a little bit over here for me.
Yeah, it's choppy.
Yeah. I don't know. I apologize. We were doing this from the road. We will be back in the College Football Experience studios next week. But next up, we jump to Appalachian State heading into College Station, Texas. This one should be a fun one. Look, I mean, did you guys catch any of that Sam Houston game before the lightning strike? It seemed like they were in it, despite the fact that Eric Schmid was not part of the Sam Houston State team anymore. They went with the Yates kid, the Georgia Tech transfer. App State, I believe in that offense. And look, App State has a top 25 defense a year ago. They just ran into North Carolina and their high-powered offense. I am all over the 19.5 points, and I'm going to lock it up. Give me App State plus the points in College Station. NC Nick?
You're a little bit more confident than me, but of course I'm taking the points. Whenever App State plays a big boy, I'm taking the points. All right, just so that that's going to happen. All right. Now, the only time that I can ever remember them getting beat like badly was against Georgia 7 or 8 years ago. Could that happen here? Could could A&M just dominate the line of scrimmage? I guess it's possible, but come on, man. This is App State here. How many times do they have to do it where they're right there with the big boys? So 18.5, give me the points all day.
Yeah, and back when they played Georgia, I believe they didn't have a quarterback that could throw the ball. It was Lamb, Taylor. What was his name? Taylor Lamb, I believe. Not a great passing quarterback. That favored Georgia. Chase Brice is going to be able to open it up, I think.
Yeah.
So give me App State and the points, and watch out. Sprinkle a little bit on that money line.
I'd love it.
Yes, Patty C, what are you doing here?
I agree with you guys. Texas A&M only up 17-0 at half. The second half they scored 14. The first half they only scored 17. The final score 31-0. But most teams that are that should be that far ahead of an FCS program slow it down, and that's why they only outscore a team by 31. It took A&M the entire time to build that score to that point. Not that impressed with A&M, and then App State was A, impressive against North Carolina, and B, has been doing it this way for like 10 years. You got to take App State here.
There we go.
I don't know why this line has jumped around here. Next up, we go to Annapolis, Maryland. The Memphis Tigers head into Annapolis. Memphis laying 5.5. This line has came down. I saw it at 6.5, and at one point even I thought it got to 7. It's down to 5.5. Navy. NC Nick, you gave me a hard time about my Blue Hens. All right.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, there we go. Navy, though, will they be able to hang on to the football? Because as much as I want to credit Delaware, I knew they would cover. Navy was fumbling the ball left and right in that game. And then Memphis, they showed a little bit of fight in the Mississippi State game, but late, I thought.
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean, they were down 35-3, I think.
Yeah.
But, so they got some fourth quarter points against backups, but I don't know.
I've been all over the place on this. Is one of the hardest games, I think, to call.
I'll say Silverfish or Silver Child.
Yeah.
Or Silver Chest is 3-0 against Navy. He's won 35-17, 10-7, and 35-23. So Memphis, of late, they've taken care of Navy.
Well, with the Silver Whale, I'm not going to take him. I'm going to go with Ken Numatalolok. And I'm going to lay the 5, or I'm going to get the 5.5 at home. I think they're going to fight for him. I think Memphis may win 21-17, maybe 28-25, something like that. But give me Navy with the slight cover.
Home dog, give me the points.
Yes. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Navy hasn't shown me anything, and they've sucked for the most part, with the exception of 2 years ago. For the last 5 years, it's a trend I can't ignore. I got to take Memphis here on the road.
Going with the Tigers. Next up, guys, this I think is my number one lock.
Ooh.
Maryland heads to Charlotte, North Carolina.
I'm locking it too.
I think Charlotte might be worse than Hawaii. I think it's close. Because I think at least Hawaii threw 4 picks, but they were able to move the ball. I don't think Charlotte can move the ball, and their defense is almost as bad as Hawaii's. So I think they're the clear-cut 2 worst teams in the country. I am laying the 27 points, and I am locking up Maryland. I think Maryland's going to drop 60 in this game. Give me a 63-28 14 final. Maryland with the cover. We're going to the land down under because my soundboard's broken. I feel like it's like that scene in Hot Shots where all this shit's broken and he just lands the airplane. All right, that's what we're doing on this pod. All right, I'm laying the 27 though with Maryland. Who's coming with me? Patty C, you are?
Lock it up.
NC Nick, you coming?
I'm not locking it. I'm gun shy. I locked up Maryland last week minus 22 against who are they playing? Buffalo. And dude, they're up 31-7. Buffalo's driving with like 3 minutes to go. They're at like the Maryland's 20-yard line, and they kick a field goal and cover. Like brutal. What are you doing kicking a field goal down 24? Like, come on, man, go for it. What the hell?
You know my theory. Part of the reason you keep a job is the fan base, and part of the way you appease a fan base is to cover. So smart move.
I guess. I'm on Maryland, but I'm going to stay away for now.
Absolutely hilarious.
And Linguist is a JMU guy, so he knows about pleasing his fans. No homo. Okay.
Furman heads to Clemson. Clemson favored by 44.5 points. And we should talk about this too. Are we at all worried about Clemson's offense still?
Yes.
Klubnik looked pretty good when he came in.
Yeah. Do we have a little controversy? Is it going to happen? And perhaps maybe Furman keeps it a little close for a little bit.
I do think it bears bringing up though that Ukulele had about 4 or 5 passes dropped. True. He had a couple of dimes he threw where they were just dropped. The receivers aren't stepping up either.
But I'll be honest, like, what do we expect? Like, I was impressed more with Georgia Tech than Clemson. And that was, I guess Georgia Tech is better than I thought they were. So maybe that plays into it. But
yeah,
I don't know. Either way, I'm concerned.
I'm not concerned with this game, though. Clemson rolls here.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. That defense is just going to destroy this offense. I will lay the points.
I mean, okay. Again, this goes back to a theory. Obviously, you would think Clemson absolutely destroys Furman. But if I'm reading this correctly, Furman won 52-0 last week.
I believe they destroyed. I think they were playing a D2.
North Greenville, a D2 school.
That's meaningless.
On principle, I will not fade a team by 45 points that won 52 the week before. Bless you. That theory holds. So I am going Furman. Maybe, but obviously not a strong play here.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, the Colorado Buffaloes. They suck. They head into Colorado Springs. They're getting 17.5 right now. Air Force laying 17.5. Air Force works Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa might be better than Colorado. The Buffs, I mean, please, if you're listening out there, JT Shrout is better than Brandon Lewis. Play JT Shrout. All right? Nothing worse than, dude, there was a part where Colorado was actually up and left points on the board, by the way. They were up 6-0 in that game, and they actually missed a 4th down and 1 at like their own 20. But there was a classic play on a key 3rd down where Brandon Lewis, he has a wide open guy, and he throws the ball into the ground. And like not even close. And I worry, but give me the points just because the clock, Air Force will milk the clock. Air Force wins 24-10. Patty C, what are you doing?
I got to go Air Force here to cover. Huge week last week, 582 yards on the ground, doing what they do. I think that team is experienced, and they're going to give it to Colorado.
NC Nick?
I took the Buffs. I thought it was a couple too many points. I don't have a good feel for this game. I'm staying far away, but I thought it was a couple too many points.
Dude, Air Force almost had 700 yards of offense last week against Northern Iowa, who, like Colby said, is just as good as Colorado at this point.
Lock it up, Patty C.
I am going to lock it up.
All right. Do it.
I want to play my soundboard because I have some awesome Iron Eagle music from the classic film in the 80s, Iron Eagle. However, my soundboard dead, but my picks aren't, baby. Let's move along. Let's go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I was so.
No, I'm not going to lock it up. I'm pulling that 17.5. That hook's tricky. Don't bait me into it, Nick.
It's easy to see a tide turn. All right, that's my sound effect. Folks, I'm taking you to Pittsburgh. I was shocked by this line. I was really shocked by this line. I still am shocked by this line because I was ready to take Tennessee as a dog because Pitt beat them in Knoxville last year, and Pitt returns their whole O-line, their whole D-line, and their secondary, and they got Keaton Slovis, which I don't think is much of a downgrade from Kenny Pickett. They won the backyard brawl. I get it. I was ready. And then I see Tennessee favored by 7? 7 over Pitt? I'm taking Pitt. I'm locking it up. Let's go.
Too many points, man. Like I was talking to Alan Cooley, Mr. Tennessee fan, and before the lines dropped, we were saying like what, Tennessee -3, -4, -7? That's too many points. Tennessee could win, but this is more of a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah.
No team should be favored by a full touchdown. So give me a home dog all day.
And I also think Narduzzi's 2-0 against Heupel. His teams are physical, and Heupel's teams traditionally aren't. That always plays a role in these matchups. If you saw JT Daniels, I know he was only sacked, I think, 3 times, but he got his ass whooped last week. I mean, he played good considering, JT, but he was getting a beat down. He was, that uniform was getting dirty. I'm taking Pitt +7. I'm going to sprinkle some on the money line too.
And also, I mean, that was a West Virginia team that brought back their entire offensive line. They were no slouch on the line, and Pitt was still getting pressure in there. So I think Tennessee, this is a big game for them. This is going to be contender-pretender here. Like, if they come in and smack Pitt around, like, okay, all right, Tennessee, I'm a little skeptical still.
Patty C, what are you doing?
I'm tempted to do it. I tend to agree with you guys. I wish I had gotten to see more of Pitt last week. I will say that was a pretty lucky turn of events for them that led to the victory, but I still expect them to win on the money line by a point or two. So while I'm not locking it, I am on Pitt.
It's easy to see a tie.
Whoa. That thing came out loud. We're back, I think. I don't know what's going on here.
And for the chat, Don Play, those games are coming up really soon, man. We're going kind of chronologically through the day Saturday. So we're going to get to ODU, ECU, and Oregon State, Fresno State soon.
Yes, and this is crazy. Now we have this. I think we have sound here. We have sound. We are coming back, baby. I've been working over here the whole time you guys have been doing stuff. I've been over here just twisting wires and just doing all this crazy shit. Anyway, next up, Kennesaw State heads into Cincinnati. Patty C. Kennesaw State was a preseason top 25 FCS team that got upset by Samford in the air raid in week 1. Now they head to Cincinnati. They're catching 28.5. That is too little. I am taking Cincinnati -28.5. I like Cincinnati's theory here, though. They play Navy every year, so they're like, Kennesaw State, a triple option team, so we can get familiar with it, and then we'll be able to handle Navy later in the season.
Smart.
Nick, what are you doing?
I'm with you. I think 28. I saw that. I thought it was a reasonable line. I like the fact that Cincinnati lost last week, so they're going to be hungry to play up here. They're not going to overlook the opponent. So, yeah, give me those Patty C Bearcats.
There we go. Patty C?
Not only give me the Bearcats, but lock it up.
Ooh. All right, I'm going to try this, guys. I'm going to try this. So buckle up a little bit. Oh!
Came out clean. Well done, sir.
Jeez. Soundboard is back. Patty C locking up Cincinnati -28.
Now you're muted.
Kennesaw State. Am I really muted?
No, you're good.
Yeah. What are you talking about, Patty C?
I can hear him.
Patty C. Well, this is just a fucking roller coaster over here. You're rocking with the college football experience.
That's what happens when somebody's in Vegas.
I'm your game show host, all right, for 500 points. For 500 points. Next up, Washington State heads to Madison, Wisconsin. This is a weird matchup, but I like it, if that makes sense. Washington State's catching 17.5. Give me Wazoo +17.5. Look, I saw Wisconsin struggled with Illinois State too much. They should have had more points on offense. I think Washington State can hang around enough. Give me the points, even though Washington State struggled with Idaho some. Give me the points on the road. NC Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's too much, man. It opened up Sunday at Wisconsin minus 11.5. It got bet up quickly. I think 17.5 is too much. I'll take Wazoo to cover.
Patty C, what are you doing?
I mean, can we give Graham Mertz a little bit of credit here? 14 to 16. 14 to 16. Granted, only 219 yards. I guess when you can lean on 150 yards from Braylon Allen, that makes it a lot easier. But
Illinois State's not a good FCS program.
No.
Yeah. So
look, I don't know where to go with this. I went back and forth, but I will ride with you guys. Give me Wazoo.
there we go. All right, let's Cougs. Next up, we have Akron. Oh man, folks, my over 2.5 wins.
Looking a little iffy.
It reminded me of Kansas last year. The sweat was real. The sweat was real against St. Francis. Michigan State, although they just lost 2 starters for the season on the defensive side of the ball, they're laying 35. Yeah. Give me. I'm laying the 35. Akron. I don't trust DJ Irons in that passing attack. Put in Jeff Undercuffler already. What are you guys doing here?
Yeah, pretty underwhelmed, even with the win against St. Francis there. It's a tough one. I'll agree with you. I think I got to go Michigan State.
You guys are probably right, but for some reason, my first reaction was to take the points. Fuck it. I'll roll with it. Give me the zips.
Zip it up, baby. Next up, Eastern Kentucky. The Colonels heading into Bowling Green, Kentucky. Bowling Green, Ohio, to take on Bowling Green, the Falcons. I was on Bowling Green plus the points at UCLA. That should have hit. That is a bullshit backdoor cover by you guys. Bowling Green's laying 6, and guess what? Dundee's locking up Bowling Green -6. Let's go. Who's coming with me? Do I have my sound effect?
I'm showing it at 4.5. I'm with you.
Let's go, baby. Come to the land down under. Let's go bowling, baby.
Wait. What did Scotty Leffler and the Falcons do last week again?
They lost to UCLA, but they didn't cover.
They did look good. Were they up like 17-7 at one point?
Yeah,
I was sweating bullets. Sure, I'll take it. Should I lock it? Am I a pussy if I don't? What did Eastern Kentucky do?
Didn't they just play Eastern Michigan pretty decently?
Eastern Kentucky?
Yeah. I feel like that was one of Noah's locks to take Eastern Kentucky there. I don't know if it hit, but I do know they were playing them pretty decently.
I'm staying away. I'm taking Bowling Green, but I'm staying away.
Yeah, I won't lock it, but I'm taking Bowling Green.
I'm the only one locking it? You guys.
The evidence has been falsified. It's impossible. I never broke the law. I am the law.
I don't know why I'm playing that, but I am the law. And I'm taking Bowling Green -6. Lock it up, baby. Come to the land down under. Don't listen to these fools. All right, next up, we got Houston heads into Texas Tech into Lubbock. This game's awesome. Future Big 12 matchup going on here. Clayton Tune survived the Alamo Dome, the house that Dale Ellis built, and now he heads into Lubbock. Tyler Shuck, he's shucking and jiving because he's out for the next 2 games. All right, and so Donovan Woods, I believe? Donovan Smith. There we go. He started a few games last season, so maybe we shouldn't panic. Zach Kitley and Texas Tech look pretty fire in Joey McGuire's first game. What are you doing here? I'm laying the 3 because I think Lubbock's going to be lit, and I don't think Clayton Tune and Houston will be able to handle two tough opponents back to back. Give me the Red Raiders.
It's a pretty solid point you're making there, and I do feel like they were fortunate to hang with UTSA. And when you take into account last year, Texas Tech kind of slapping them around. But I want to go Houston. I want to believe. And I was impressed with Clayton Tune, but I guess you got to go Texas Tech based on the other reasons.
Nick?
I'm on the Red Raiders. I don't think there's much of a drop-off from Shuck to Donovan Smith. I think Donovan Smith could be a nice quarterback here moving forward. If Shuck is out, I think he's only out a couple games, but it could be kind of a quarterback battle there. Yeah, last year Texas Tech won at the neutral site 38-21, limited Clayton Tune to just 174 passing yards. And now we're in Lubbock in West Texas. Give me the Red Raiders.
Let's go. All right, the Sycamores, Indiana State, baby. Larry Bird. All right, where's my don't I have a Bird sound drop somewhere on here?
Goes baseline, throws it up, and Larry Bird did it again!
He did it again! I'm taking the Sycamores plus 35 in a little backyard battle in West Lafayette.
How do you not have Steal by Bird over to DJ lays it in?
That's true. Look, I don't know. I'm a complex human being. All right. How about this?
Good round, you're celebrating with your appetite. Bad round, you're using your appetite to forget about the round. I'll tell you something about appetite. It's a real fucking great thing to have.
It is a great thing to have. And I think Indiana State will have an appetite because these are probably kids that weren't recruited by Purdue. So give me the 35. Purdue, their defense isn't good enough. Indiana State will be able to score some. It'll be like Purdue's going to drop a 50 burger, but I think Indiana State will score enough to cover this thing. Nick?
Yeah, that was my initial reaction as well. I'll stick with it. Give me the Sycamores plus 35.
Patty C?
Look, Purdue is steaming that they couldn't seal the deal against Penn State. They're going to take it out on Indiana State. So give me the Boilermakers.
I see the chat. They're saying, where can you bet Bowling Green? Win bet. Yes, get in. We are sponsored.
If it's available in your state. If it's not, move to the state where it is, right?
Not, maybe borrow the girlfriend's car. Next up, we got the Cyhawk going on, guys. I don't care. Look, you can have these fabricated Alabama-Texas games, these TV exec wet dream games. I could give a good goddamn about that game. Well, I kind of want to see Texas get destroyed, but this is what I'm here for. This is the college football experience. Iowa State heads into Iowa City, where Iowa is fresh off a 3-point offensive performance and a win. Spencer Petras forever. Iowa State's catching 4. I have a strange feeling, and maybe I say this every year. I think this is the year Matt Campbell's going to do it. Give me Iowa State plus 4 in Iowa City. Look, this game's awesome every year. I expect this will be like a 13-10 game. Give me Iowa State plus 4. Nick?
I think by now everybody knows the stats that Iowa has won 6 in a row, and 4 of those 6 have been by double digits. And we know Matt Campbell is 0-5 against Iowa. Dude, records are made to be broken. I'm with you. Give me the Cyclones.
Dude,
lock it up.
Last year, Iowa State.
Lock it up.
Yeah.
Lock it up.
I'm with you. Let's do it. Because, look, last year, Iowa won this game decisively with only like 130 yards of offense. All right. Iowa State had like 380 yards of offense, and they lost. I don't know if it was 380. I don't know. I don't have the box score in front of me. But my point is, I remember that being like, how the hell do you lose a game? And part of it was Brice Hall fumbled at the 1-yard line, his own 1-yard line. And I just think no one's talking about Iowa State. I think this is the year. This is the year. I'm with you. Lock it up. Let's go. Let Patty C come to the land down under. Let's go.
I am not coming to the land down under. I think all the stats that Nick just rattled off cannot be ignored. Why would you pick this year of all years to completely ignore history?
No one's talking about Iowa State.
Look, if you can win a game by 4 points without scoring an offensive touchdown, Spencer Petras will get the job done and put a couple points on the board this week. They will shut down Iowa State, and I am taking the Hawkeyes.
Are you locking it?
I'm not locking it, no. 4 points for Iowa, that's like a once-a-year accomplishment to win by more than 4.
This next game has been all over the place. Colorado State, this line opened up at 7. It's at 11 right now. Colorado State minus 11 in Fort Collins against Middle Tennessee State, fresh off that ass whooping to JMU. Now they hit back-to-back away games, going to Fort Collins. I'm on board. I'm laying the 11 with the Rams. Nick?
I was with you at 7.5. I was with you at 9.5. And with 11, I mean, there's a chance that MTSU is just a steaming pile of hot garbage, and Rick Stockstill might be on borrowed time. There's a good chance of that. At 11, I guess give me the Red Raiders to cover.
Patty C?
I'm sorry, the Blue Raiders.
Blue Raiders.
They're not red.
Too many Raiders here. No, look, like Todd Centeo's current team just lit up Middle Tennessee State. Todd Centeo's old team will replicate that feat this week. Middle Tennessee is a steaming pile of shit. Nick locked them, so he is trying to cover his tracks and say that this will be a rebound week when they actually do suck. So give me Colorado State.
I thought you would try to cover your tracks and build up MTSU to make the JMU win look even better.
Look, we
Not
don't
the case,
need any of that hoo-ha, right? We're going to win every week, and it's going to be beautiful.
On the field, baby. Love it.
That's right.
Well, speaking of which, JMU is laying 37.5 against the Norfolk State Spartans in Bridgeforth Stadium in Harrisonburg, Virginia. 37.5. Norfolk State just got rolled by Marshall. I think there's a chance JMU is better than Marshall. I'm laying the 37.5 with JMU. Let's go. NC Nick.
It's easy to see a tide turn. I'm on JMU.
Dude, lock the shit out of this if you want to make
It's
money.
easy to see a tide turn.
Patty C, you're locking it?
Yes. Come on. We just did to Middle Tennessee. We beat them by 37. You think Norfolk State is in the same area code as Norfolk State? Not a chance.
All right, I'm not going to lock it, but I do like it.
We're beating them by 50. We're beating them by 50. Write it.
I love it. Northern Colorado and Easy Ed McCaffrey is coming into Laramie, and they're catching 23 points. That's a big number, but Northern Colorado, they lost to Houston Baptist, who was winless the year before. Give me the points because I don't know about Wyoming's offense. I don't trust this game. I don't like this game. Wyoming's going to win. Give me a Wyoming final of 28-7. Nick?
My initial reaction was Northern Colorado. I'm going to switch it up. Wyoming rolls.
Yeah, you might be right. Let's go. I'm in. Wyoming
minus 20. Both of you guys.
Yeah.
What was it? My in-depth analysis that swayed you?
Portland State Vikings. They're heading into Seattle, Washington, where Caleb DeBow.
Real quick, Northern Colorado beat Houston or lost to Houston Baptist, who went 0-11 last year. So
yeah, I mean, just brutal, just brutal. Portland State, the Vikings. Oh man, they were so close against San Jose State. They were so close to pulling off the upset, but they couldn't get it done. And now they head to Seattle, where Kalen DeBauer and Michael Penix are laying 28.5 points. I'm laying the points, folks. I think Washington's going to roll. Nick?
This game is messing with me because I want to take Portland State. I was on them against San Jose State. I thought that was a pretty good spot for them. They seem to always fuck with they seem to always just play at least decently close games against the Pacific Northwest teams. I want to take them. I'll take them. I'm not going to bet this game, but I could see Washington steamrolling big time here, but let me take the points.
Patty C?
I don't know. I mean, Portland State hung around with San Jose State last year. Last week, you guys seem to give them a little bit of respect. 28.5. The hook doesn't scare you. I guess Washington gets it done.
All right. All right, folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Run Your Pool. Yes, Run Your Pool is the home of competition, bringing sports fans and their social circles together to compete, connect, and make every game matter more. Run Your Pool offers every game you can think of under the sun. Pickup, Survivor, all these fantasy pools. You got to get in over there. We've teamed up with Run Your Pool to host our own SGPN NFL Survivor contest. Hop in now to reserve your spot. $500 cash will go to the winner, plus a $250 gift card to the SGPN merch store. Folks, it's free. So what are you doing, Bozo? Sign up today at play.runyourpool.com/SGP. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by Odds Trader. Odds Trader is a place to compare odds from all the major sports books. You can also compare the different sign-up codes and promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to ensure that you get the best deal possible. The app also provides player stats, key game stats, injury reports, projected game day weather for bettors who make the most informed bets possible. It also has a bet tracker, so you can keep track of your records with all your games and betting activities. So go to oddstrader.com/BlueWire. OddsTrader, the number one site for all your game day bets. And last but not least, we're brought to you by Sling. It is college football season, which means you need the unbeatable coverage of Sling TV. Starting at $35 a month, Sling has all the biggest games on the biggest channels like ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, SEC Network, ACC Network, Fox, and the Big Ten Network, all for the best price. You can stream it on any device, record up to 50 hours with included DVR space. You can pause or change your service at any time. Check out sling.com for special offers. Sling, the live TV you love for a price you'll love. Try us today. All right, we're back. And we're better than ever. Samford, not Stanford, Samford is heading to Athens, Georgia to play between the hedges. The line is 52, so they're pretty much saying that Samford is as good as Oregon. Samford comes into Athens. Folks, I am laying the 52. This game is stupid. It should never happen. It should be it's a fucking health scare. This is worse than the pandemic. This is absolutely ridiculous that this game is happening. I know Samford knocked off Kennesaw State in their triple option, but this game they should be ashamed of themselves for scheduling this thing. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Well, last year in their greatest season ever, national championship season, they only beat one team by more than 52 points. Granted, that was an SEC team in Vanderbilt, but Samford might be better than Vanderbilt, so I'm going to take Samford to cover this.
Bold.
Hell no. Hell no. Yeah. Georgia all day.
All right, next up, we got the UNLV running Rebels heading to Berkeley, California. They want to go there. They want to drop a little acid in Berkeley, and you better believe
Hippie Olympics. Doesn't matter who wins because they're all losers.
UNLV is getting 13.5 in Berkeley, and guess what? I'm locking up Cal minus 13.5. Boom! Let's go.
Really?
Under. Let's go. Yes. They are baiting you. They are baiting you to take UNLV because UNLV played Idaho State. Well, Idaho State was awful. Absolutely awful. And I watched that whole game, every snap. Idaho State left a lot of points on the board against that UNLV defense. I think Justin Wilcox will have the defense ready to shut down UNLV. Give me Cal minus the points in Berkeley. NC Nick, what are you doing?
13 and they're baiting you? No, I'm on UNLV. I mean, UNLV was a top 20 ATS school a year ago. 8-4 was their ATS record. They had an 8-point loss at Fresno, 7-point loss at UTSA, a 4-point loss to Utah State, 8-point loss to San Diego State.
20-point loss to Colorado State.
I think UNLV is better this year than last year. And who does Cal ever blow out? Give me UNLV to cover. Cal wins by 10.
It's a bad matchup for UNLV.
Petty C, very good points on both sides. This one, two coaches that Colby's kind of hyped. Wilcox, he's been hyping for a while, but as we know, and as Nick pointed out, they rarely win by a lot. Marcus Arroyo came on late last year, improving that product. Border battle, you got to like it. Silver State, Golden State here, but I am riding Cal.
Ooh, I like it. Well, Wagner has a football program, guys.
Wagner.
Yes, Wagner. They head into Piscataway to take on the 1-0. Only Boston College would have found a way to lose that game. Only Boston College would have found a way to lose that game. I can't believe Rutgers is laying 51.5 points. And I can't believe I'm taking it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Give me one score with Wagner. One score. That's all I want, guys. One fucking score. Wagner plus 51.5. What are you guys doing?
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, look, Rutgers put a defensive performance together to get that win last week. That was not due to their offense. So I don't think they're putting up. And like you say, if Wagner can manage one score, Rutgers will have to get close to 60. just ain't happening.
It could be like 41-0 or something, 44-0, 48-0. Come on.
Well, let's stay in that. Alabama State, the Hornets are headed to Pasadena, where there was about 12 fans at that Bowling Green UCLA game last week.
Apparently it was hot. It was too hot for the Californians.
It was really hot, but anyway, UCLA's laying 50.5. I'm on Bama State. Give me the points in Alabama State. NC Nick?
Totally agree. And isn't this the HBCU game or something? So, to Terrell's point a week or two ago, they might not want to embarrass too much. So, yeah, I mean, come on. Give me 50 points.
This is the first time ever that UCLA will be playing an FCS team, and this is a result of Michigan canceling playing in Pasadena.
That's right.
Patty C., what are you doing here?
Saw the weather report for LA today. The heat wave finally ends, but it ends to the tune of rain in Los Angeles. Showers reported for Saturday. So that tells me lean Alabama State here.
There we go.
I love Lane Elliott's comment of Rutgers punted on 4th and goal and still won last week. True story.
All right, next up, Brennan Armstrong and the Virginia Cavaliers catching 4.5 points in Champaign. The same Virginia team that whooped Illinois' ass a season ago in Charlottesville.
42-14.
What am I missing here? Give me the Wahoos and Brennan Armstrong. He ran for over 100 yards last week. No one talked about him. No one talks about him. I am concerned Virginia's defense is weak. But Illinois, did you see their offense last week? I couldn't believe the amount of people that were hyping up Tommy DeVito. All right. And the Illinois offense as being like improved. No.
Who was hyping up Tommy DeVito? Have they ever watched him play?
I'm telling you, that was a trendy pick was Illinois to get to a bowl game.
Wow.
So I am going to go with Virginia plus 4.5. Give me some of the money line plus 155. Virginia's new running back looks good.
Harris Jones.
Yeah. Give me the Wahoos 2-0. Let's go. National champions.
You like Lavelle Davis stepping in right where he left off 2 years ago, second in the nation in yards per catch at 25 per game. And right away, like a 50-yard touchdown, ended up having like 4 catches for almost 100 yards. So they got weapons, baby. Nick, what do you got?
Obvious UVA all day, man. I think Chase Brown might run wild on UVA, there's no way they should be favored by more than a field goal. Even if you think they're equal, you give them 3 points for home field advantage. There's no way you give them 4.5. Give me UVA.
UVA on the money line, but I'm not locking it. Wait, real quick. Lane Elliott said Rutgers punted on 4th and goal and still won. Is that a figure of speech, or did Rutgers literally punt on 4th and goal last week? Because that would be a first.
Well, so, yeah, because there was like a bunch of penalties, right?
Yeah.
And it pushed them back like 30 yards.
I think it worked. I think it worked in their favor because I think
that's fucking amazing.
Anyway, next up, Incarnate Word heads into Reno to take on Patty C's Nevada Wolfpack. I didn't catch the Nevada game last week, but I know it was an ass kicking. But I was doing my homework, studying all these games like I do each and every week. Folks, Nevada is 2-0, and they just won by 24 points. But if you dive into the box score, it's pretty shocking.
Hate. And this is one that you're gonna spend all season hating, and it's gonna look bad because Nevada is gonna go bowling.
Well, I can tell you this: Nevada's leading rusher had 1 carry for 37 yards.
It's pretty good average.
7 yards per rush.
Pretty good average.
Dane Illingworth won the game. They threw for 101 yards in the air. They won this game by a lot of points. It's mind-numbing to me how they this is the greatest win of all time. And I think the reality is that Texas State turned the ball over 4 times. Texas State outgained Nevada. And, I mean, this was fascinating. When I dove into the box score here, I was like, how the hell? I was going through and I was looking at stats, and I go, Illingsworth their starting quarterback for Nevada threw for 101, and I was like, wait. I was like,
sounds like Lafayette.
Yeah, I was like, their leading rusher at 37 yards. I'm like, but they won by 24. They blew them out. This is the greatest win ever. Anyway, Incarnate Word. Patty C, you might remember a quarterback at Nichols when they scored about 80 a season ago or 2 years ago named Lindsey Scott. He transferred from Nichols into Incarnate Word, and they played a top 15 FCS team in Southern Illinois, Stone Labanowitz's alma mater.
Stone's not walking through that door last week, though.
Dude, you see his stat line? Lindsey Scott, 17 of 25, 391 yards, 68 yards, or 68% completion percentage for 16 yards of completion, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he also had 23 yards on the ground and a rushing score. Holy shit. Relax. Lindsey Scott. You know what? Patty C, it's easy to see a tide turn. Incarnate Word pulls off the upset in Reno. Let's go, baby. NC Nick, what are you doing?
Colby swayed me. I'm going down with this ship. Give me the FCS team. Why not?
Let's go, baby.
Foolish. Give me Nevada and lock it up. 2 points. 2 points. This team was 8-4 in the FCS Mountain West.
Vegas,
so sick and tired of you guys fading Nevada. You know.
Lindsey Scott,
I love it.
Slice and dice this team apart. All right, the Cardinals will win. Let's go. All right, moving along. We got to get to this. We're going through these.
Let's go. Come on, guys.
All right, Holy Cross travels to Buffalo.
I took the points. I'm not sure why.
Oh yeah, Holy Cross got a quarterback I'm a big fan of, Matt Sluka. All right, this guy. They won at UConn last year. They gave it to UConn. However, Buffalo did look a little bit better than I expected last week. I'm going to lay the 12. Give me a 28-14 final. I don't feel good about this one because Holy Cross is decent. They make the FCS playoffs often, I feel like. Patty C, what are you doing here?
This is a tough one. Buffalo did look a little better than expected. Holy Cross had a decent run, like you said. What round did they get eliminated in the second round, or did they go deeper than that?
I think they lost in the second round. I can't recall.
You know what? I'm going with my JMU guy. We're going Linguist, and we're going Buffalo.
There we go. Gardner Webb, the running Bulldogs. They're going to be running into Conway, South Carolina, where Big Bird got a win. Shout out to Grayson McCall, a.k.a. Big Bird. Grabbed himself a dub. They're laying 34. And you know what I'm doing? I'm laying the 34 with Big Bird. NC Nick, what are you doing?
Definitely. I mean, it's almost lockworthy, but I'll refrain. But yeah, Coastal Carolina.
Patty C?
Coastal Carolina all day, baby.
All right, the Kansas Jayhawks, fresh off of a tune-up against Tennessee Tech. They travel to Morgantown. All right, they're catching 13.5 in Morgantown. Can JT Daniels and West Virginia get it together? Kansas is plus 400 on the money line. What are you guys doing here, NC Nick?
Give me the dog, man. This is a 6-point game last year, and Kansas is much improved. I do think JT Daniels is a good fit in Morgantown, but this is a ball game. This ain't a 13-point game. Lock it up. Give me Kansas.
Oh! NC Nick locking up the Jayhawks.
I like it. I like the boldness. Look, they look great. Colby D has got me believing. And Lance Leipold and the Kansas Jayhawks. A road trip to West Virginia is never easy, but 13.5, is it?
Yeah.
That is easy. Give me the Jayhawks. I'm not locking it, though.
I'm not locking it either, mainly because I'm concerned that Daniels, it's his first, like he won at Texas, but their fans suck. At West Virginia, it's a different animal. This will be a tough road environment, but Kansas plus 13.5. Give me it all day. Let's go. Next up, Old Dominion heads into Greenville, North Carolina, where they might be.
Here you go, Don Play. Sorry, Colby. Don Play's been waiting for this one.
Well, let me tell you something. Virginia Tech, they're cowards, all right? They used to play East Carolina all the time, and then East Carolina beat them so many times, they said, you know what, we're not going to schedule them anymore. We're going to schedule Old Dominion. Well, guess what happened? Old Dominion beat them twice in a row. So maybe they're going to want to schedule us again. I don't know, but either way, we settle it here in Greenville. East Carolina's laying 13. I was a little surprised on that number. Thought it would be more like 8 or 9. However, East Carolina wins by 14. Let's go.
Wow.
Patty C.
That was staticky.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know about that, buddy. Little bit impressed with what Old Dominion did week 1, so I'm going to roll Monarchs here.
Oh, you're a fool.
I mean, ODU didn't look great. I mean, 245 total yards of offense will tell you that much. But I agree with Colby what he originally said. It's too many points. I think ECU wins by 10 or so. I don't know if ECU didn't wow me either. Sure, they're playing a better opponent in NC State, but I'm buying the 757 boys. Give me ODU to cover at least.
Look, you come into Greenville, place is going to burn down. Our kicker's going to hopefully we got rid of that guy. We shipped him out. Bring in the next kicker, and let's go. All right. Why is there blood running down my ears? Yeah, I'm sorry. That ECU song bang. We're having some technical difficulties tonight. You're rocking with the College Football Experience live in Vegas. My apologies. We'll be back at the studio next week. Next up, we got Robert Morris taking on Miami, Ohio. This is a 39-point spread for Miami, Ohio. Give me Robert Morris plus 39. NC Nick?
That sounded like too many points. I'll take it.
I mean, if I had done this much analysis on this, let me just admit this. This is just off the cuff. Give me Robert Morris, I guess. Whatever.
Well, Southeast Louisiana. Cephas Johnson at quarterback. They're heading into Boca Raton, where if Willie Taggart wants to be fired, it might be this game. The Lions are catching 11.5 in Boca Raton. I can't believe FAU got whooped by Ohio. I'll lay the 11.5, but I don't feel good. Give me FAU minus 11.5. Nick?
I think I'm with you. I know Sela has a decent program down there in the FCS usually. I think FAU is still average, maybe. I think they can cover it. Give me FAU.
Patty C?
Sela 9-4 at the FCS level last year, including a 3-point loss at Louisiana Tech. What was the spread on this one?
11.
Yeah, 11.5.
11. Oh, boy. I feel like FAU is better than that. I feel like FAU should be able to cover 11. I'll ride Owls.
Okay, UAB heads up to Lynchburg, Virginia to take on the Libs. Yes, a.k.a. Liberty. UAB's laying 6, even though the Libs went into Birmingham last year and won. They, on their first game of that stadium,
beat them pretty handily.
Yeah, so the Libs are now catching 6.
The Flaming Libs.
The Flaming Libs. Great nickname. The Flaming Libs taking on UAB.
Because they are the Flames. I get it.
Yeah, there it is.
Give me a second.
There's no other double entendre going on there. Don't worry about it.
This is a weird game. Give me Libs. Give me the Flaming Libs plus 6. Nick?
No, sir. Revenge game. UAB. Charlie Brewer's hurt. He's out. Give me UAB to come in there, beat him by at least a touchdown, lock it up as well.
It's a hard game. My first thought was UAB, but the more I thought about it and saw last year's score, I don't know. Patty C, what are you doing?
Look, I rode at Liberty, and so this is like maybe an overreaction on my part, not being as impressed as I thought I would be. So I am on UAB to cover this.
All right. Alabama A&M's taking on Troy. Troy's laying 37. Whew. Alabama A&M was awful against UAB. I will lay the 37 with Troy. Nick?
Yeah, wasn't that like 59-0 or something? So, yeah, I took Troy too.
Patty C?
It's been tough for the old HBCUs lately, but I don't know. Alabama and A&M possibly, but Troy just seems pretty solid. Moving in the right direction.
Alcorn State is getting 33.5 at Tulane. Michael Pratt and as Patty C says, his golden sweet ass.
His golden gorgeous locks.
Yeah.
Let's get it clear here.
The Libs I mean, not the Libs, the Tulane Green Wave. Jeez, I'm all over the place here. Laying 33.5. I'm on Willie Fritz and the Green Wave. I'm laying the 33.5. Nick?
Yeah, same thing.
How do you see?
Fade HBCU seems inappropriate, but I think it stands at the moment unless we're talking about Jackson State. So I am going Tulane.
All right, next up, Central Arkansas heads to Oxford, Mississippi. Hottie, toddy. Ole Miss is laying 34. I'm going to lay the 34. Central Arkansas coming off a loss to Road Rash face, a.k.a. Bobby Petrino. I'm laying the 34. Nick?
I feel like Central Arkansas always has some dogs on that team, but against Ole Miss, nah, that's not enough points. Lay them.
Eddie?
Yep.
All right, Eastern Michigan heads. You know who has the longest winning streak in America? It's Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns. And now Chris Creighton and the Eastern Michigan Eagles come into town. They're catching 12.5 in Lafayette. Give me Eastern Michigan plus the points. Sprinkle a little bit on the money line, plus 375. Nick, what are you doing?
I totally agree. I mean, if you look at Lafayette last year, where they had their coach and their quarterback and a very experienced roster, they had several very close calls against like inferior competition. So I feel like even if they're the better team here, even if they win, it's too many points. Give me the road dog this time.
No. You guys
sounds pretty confident in that.
Overvalue, or I guess think a team losing their head coach is going to like completely decimate them. This team has been good for several years in a row. They're not going to fall off the map. Give me Louisiana to cover this pretty easily, especially because Eastern Michigan struggled with Eastern Kentucky last week.
They're competing tenants. Next up, the airport. Want to know, baby? Want to know? It was bullshit on a targeting call. You got very fortunate there. And then you went for 2 against Bryant. Got it done. Went for 2. Nothing like being at home and going for 2 in the win against Bryant because you have zero faith in your defense. They are catching 14 at Texas State, who somehow, like I mentioned, got destroyed at Reno. Spavital's on the hot seat. Mike McIntyre's riding momentum. The spread is 14. Give me the points, I guess. No, I don't know. No.
Now, Gunnar Holmberg's in the concussion protocol, whatever. Not the portal, the protocol.
We need to get the concussion portal going. Texas State, I'm going to lay the 14 in Texas State, actually, the more I think about it. FIU's defense is awful. So let's lay the 14. Patty C?
Bryant was a decent 7-4 last year, but still squeaking that one out. Our preseason hype of Mike McIntyre, not a great look right now.
What do you mean? He's survive in advance, baby.
True. Actually, 14 points for Spavital seems like a lot right now. So I will go FIU.
Same here. Give me the points.
Hanger 12. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Give me the upset. No, I'm taking Texas State. I think their defense is too bad. But McIntyre's on the right track, baby. All right. Howard taking on South Florida. Heading down to Tampa. Watch out for those strip clubs. South Florida laying 35.5. Guys, South Florida was down was that 38-0 in like the first 15 minutes of the game to BYU? Jeez.
BYU is a national championship contender. You heard it here.
Well, does that mean you're laying the points with South Florida? 35.5 against the Howard Bison?
Howard is terrible. I don't know. That is a lot for USF to cover, but I will. I'm going to take the Bulls. I think
I'm with you. I'm going to lay the 35.5. I don't like it. Nick, what are you doing?
I guess I grabbed the points.
Deion Sanders is taking on Eddie George. Deion Sanders laying 9.5. I just want to crowbar this in. Lock that up. Give me Jackson State minus 9.5.
I like it.
There we go. Next up, Kent State. The Golden Flashes are heading to Norman. They're getting 32.5. It ain't enough. Give me Oklahoma minus 32.5. Nick?
I'm with you. Same thing.
Patty?
Easy peasy. Dylan Gabriel killing it.
Next up, the Florida Gators. An AR-15. Shoot that thing off because he's grabbing dubs. The Kentucky Wildcats are coming into Gainesville. All right, they're playing the Tom Petty songs. Things are back. They're winning against ranked opponents. I am going to take Kentucky plus 5.5 points. Nick?
I'm with you. Like, I know this all-time series is in Florida's favor big time, 53-19. Florida won 31 straight games from 1987 to 2017. But the last 4 games, even split. And Kentucky's even won in Gainesville one time. And I just like the fact that Florida's riding high after that somewhat fortunate win over Utah. I think it's a good spot to take the points here with Kentucky. I think it's going to be a close game, like a field goal contest. I don't know. I'm not even sure who's going to win. Kentucky could argue money line.
Yeah, plus one on the money line right now. Patty,
well, there it is. Well, you heard it all preseason for me. 6.5. Lock the over on the win total. Florida's going to hit that. They already pretty much did just by beating Utah. And they're going to beat Kentucky this week. And I think they're going to beat them by a touchdown. So I am taking the Gators.
Nice.
Locking it?
No, I'm not locking it.
All right, next up. Northern Illinois heading into Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a tough one. Northern Illinois, 7-point win against a bad FCS team. Tulsa, overtime loss. Somehow gave up 50 points to a Wyoming team that we thought might not be able to score 50 points all season the week before. Tulsa laying 5.5. I guess I'm going Golden Hurricane minus the points here. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, is this a game where like the American just flexes on the MAC? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say this has a field goal game written all over it. Give me the points.
Patty?
How did Northern Illinois do week 1? I'm drawing a blank on that.
7 against Eastern Illinois.
I feel like sometimes you don't listen to Coley when he's talking.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to look up stats half the time. They won 34-27. Okay, and Tulsa then a close loss to a shitty Wyoming team. Talk about a terrible game. I don't know who to go with. I'll go with Tulsa.
I just think they're at home. I just think at home they looked all right. It's a tough to go to Laramie and win. So I'm gonna ride with that. So next up we got Syracuse heading to Rensselaer to take on UConn, who I locked up laying 17 and that cashed last week. Shout out to Jim Moore Jr., friend of the program. Syracuse is laying 22.5 points. And guess what? I'm taking them. I am laying the 22.5 because, boy, did UConn make me sweat against Central Connecticut State without Taquan Roberson. So I am going to lay the points with Syracuse. Nick?
I think I'm with you, actually. I think you guys might have been onto something with Syracuse. And I got a nice nickname for Garrett Schrader. We can call him the Shredder.
Oh, snap.
So that's pretty solid, dude. I don't know what happened. Back in 2019, he threw for 57.5% completion percentage. Last year, it was 52.6 completion percentage. All of a sudden, against Louisville, he's over 70%. He's throwing for 236. He's running for 94. Bunch of touchdowns. Syracuse looks pretty decent here.
Patty C, what are you doing?
Robert and I will put him to good use. I don't know. The fact that it's in Rensselaer, no one goes into the wrench and dominates UConn. I actually probably think that's probably false, but I'm gonna go Syracuse. We're gonna take the orange here.
There we go. Stephen F. Austin is heading to Ruston, Louisiana to take on La Tech. La Tech's laying 6.5. I have watched Stephen F. Austin 2 weeks in a row. Not impressed. I am laying the 6.5 with La Tech. Nick?
Something about the spread just said take Stephen F. Austin. So that's the route I'm going down.
All right, Patty C.
Well, Stephen F. Austin getting their ass completely kicked by Rich Rod in his first game with Jacksonville State says auto fade to me. So I am riding Louisiana Tech here.
All right, next up, Weber State heads into Utah State. These are right next to each other, these universities. This is a fun game. Border battle. How about a fucking town battle? This is like right in the same town, I believe, right? Utah State minus 7.5. You know what? Gosh, give me Utah State, I guess. This could be sneaky, but let's go Utah State. Nick?
Yeah, I think this is a get-right game for Utah State here. Look, they didn't look very good week 1, even though they squeaked out the victory over UConn. Obviously got blown up by Bama. Maybe they actually look decent here. Give me the favorite.
Patty?
Let me see one thing before I voice my opinion here. Western Oregon. What do we know about them? Are they decent at all?
D2.
Weber's.
D2.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I guess Utah State. I guess you got to take Utah State here.
Western
7.5. They should do that. Mountain West champs, weren't they?
Yeah.
Against the FCS, you should win by more than a touchdown.
Western Carolina is at Georgia Tech. I don't have a line for that one, folks. So just FYI.
21.
I will take Georgia Tech minus the points then. Patty?
Yeah.
1 sec.
On tally side, it's minus 21.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll ride the Jackets. They were decent.
Same here. I think 2 years ago, Western Carolina was god awful. They're actually getting better though.
I agree. Next up, Herm Edwards. Big Herm. Coming into Stillwater, Oklahoma. Catching 11 points in Stillwater. Did you guys see how much Oklahoma State's defense without Jim Knowles gave up to a MAC school last week?
Did you see the first half versus the second half, though?
Of the defense? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, let me pull up that box score.
What he's trying to say is that when the game mattered, it wasn't quite as bad, which it's a fair point. But I saw enough from Arizona State, and yeah, Knowles is gone, and I mean, Oklahoma State only had 4 returning starters on defense coming back this year. So I think Arizona State's offense can do enough to keep this close. Give me the points.
I'm sorry, when you give up 546 yards to a MAC school,
that's a lot.
Dude, they were up 44 to 15 at half. Up 51 to 22 going into the fourth quarter. Then Central Michigan drops 22 on them. That is counterfeit stats right there. Oklahoma State is fine. Give me the Cowboys.
I'm all over Arizona State here, and I think it's a money line potential play. I don't care. Patty C can say those points all he wants. I saw this game, and Central Michigan was moving the ball at will. Now, yes, did they make interceptions? Yes, they made some plays to get up to that big lead. I am convinced they are very vulnerable this year. I am taking Arizona State plus 11. Sprinkles.
Actually,
some on the
right.
money.
You're right. Arizona State.
Plus 350 on the money line. Just sprinkle a little bit. I think it's going to be a game. Nick?
Yeah, I said I'm with you.
All right, Georgia Southern heads to Nebraska. Georgia Southern, they threw for like 400 yards or something. Kyle Van Treese, well, they're taking on Morgan State, but still, they haven't thrown for like 400 yards in a season over the past 30 years. They head into Lincoln, where one of my locks cost me. Nebraska's laying 24. Currently, I got it at 21.5 earlier. I didn't bet it, but I locked it in on Tally site. 24. Yeah, give me Nebraska. Nick?
I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm on the Cornhuskers too.
Patty C?
I don't think I am, man. I know that they've turned it on when they needed to last week and pulled away, but won by 21? But still not very impressed with Nebraska. Scott Frost has more questions to answer, so I am going Georgia Southern. Hey, you said how many yards passing did Georgia Southern have?
I thought they had like something close to 400. It was like 3-something, I think.
I mean, can we give our guy a little bit of credit?
No, you're taking on Morgan State. They're the fucking like worst FCS team. You're trying to crowbar that in, you sandbagging son of a gun. Next up, McNeese State comes into Houston, Texas to take on the Rice Owls. Who got their ass whooped by USC? But I'm taking you to the land down under because Rice will win by more than 10.5. Lock it up. Let's go, Rice Owls. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, McNeese is nothing great, right? I mean, is what's his name still bringing in a bunch of talent, the old UTSA coach?
No, he left to join Brian Kelly's staff, so they're in more turmoil. Take Rice minus 10. Lock it, Nick?
Lock it. Let's do it.
Wait, is Eddie O still the quarterback at Eddie O's son?
No, he's now a like an assistant or like a GA at Miami.
Who's that coach again? Frank something?
Frank Harris. He's gone though. No,
Harris.
No.
Frank Martin? No, that's a basketball coach.
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'll go Rice with you guys. I'll roll Rice.
Lock it?
No.
Pussy.
Shit about either of these teams.
me and Patty C or me and NC Nick are locking up the Rice Owls. That's an easy.
Right.
All right, I'll see you at the winner's circle. Next up, San Jose State heads to Auburn. War Eagle. The last time San Jose State played at an SEC team, they won at Arkansas on the money line. They went out right at Arkansas a couple years ago. Now they head to Auburn, Alabama. War Eagle, 22.5 points. It's too many points. Give me San Jose State plus the points. Nick?
I'm on the same side.
Patty C?
War damn Eagle. Auburn gets this done.
Southern. The Jaguars, they head into Baton Rouge. Where?
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet.
That is true. You haven't even won all your games yet. You've lost them.
You haven't won any of them.
Yeah. LSU's laying 47.5. I'll lay the points because I think he needs style points. I saw him getting into it with reporters that were showing up late to the meeting. He needs the style points. LSU wins 54-3. Nick?
Agreed.
Patty?
Hold on. I didn't even have the game pulled up yet. It's LSU and who?
Southern.
And Southern? Yeah, they'll cover that.
All right, next up, Texas Southern. Michael Strahan's alma mater heads to Denton, Texas. Take on North Texas. They're Texas tough. All right, North Texas is laying 35 points. I laid the 35. I don't know what's going on here. I hate this game. Nick, what are you doing here?
So many shit games. I laid the points too.
Patty?
You guys believing in old Seth Luttrell again? Oh, I don't know what to do here. It's tough to give lay that many points, but I'll ride with you, I guess, if you guys got that hunch.
Well, don't trust it too much, buddy. USC. I think I rattled this off correctly. Stanford's won 9 of the last 14 matchups against USC. Well, they head to the farm. I thought Rice had some nice drives deep into USC territory, but they couldn't catch the ball. And they would go right off the receiver's hands, and then USC would get 2 or 3 pick sixes. I think that score is a little bit deceiving. Stanford, E.J. Smith, Emmett's son, was getting off against the Colgate Raiders. Give me Stanford plus 8 against the USC Trojans on the farm. NC Nick?
I was on Stanford when this was over 10. Now that it's under 10, give me USC to cover.
Patty?
Colgate last year only 5-6 at the FCS level, but still a 41-10 win. Decent enough for Stanford. USC super impressive, but 3 pick sixes. Can you replicate that? Let's ride history here and say that Stanford gets the cover. If not, the outright win on the farm.
Yes, let's go. Boston College heads to Blacksburg, Virginia. Remember that old crazy? This should be a Thursday night game. What are they doing? This is meant to be a Thursday night game. Remember the Matt Ryan play? Come on. Virginia Tech, fresh off of a beautiful offensive performance in Norfolk, Virginia. They are laying 2.5 at home against Boston College. Boston College replaced all 5 offensive linemen, and it showed against Rutgers. That is why Virginia Tech, believe it or not, even though they lost, they did have the most QB pressures of any team in the nation. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Virginia Tech at Lane. Nick?
Man, this game is tough because, Grant Wells threw 4 picks against Old Dominion, and that was his problem last year, throwing interceptions. Virginia Tech lost a turnover battle 5-2. Virginia Tech had 14 penalties for 100 yards. But meanwhile, Boston College lost a turnover battle 3-1, and they were outrushed by Rutgers 212-29. I guess give me the Hokies.
Patty?
Dude, they just lost to ODU. Grant Wells looks god-awful. Has there ever been a more typical Virginia Tech performance than the one they just had? I think Jerkovich – wait, is he playing? What's his status?
Yeah, he's playing, I think.
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay. I'm going to ride Boston College then.
All right, Patty C going the Eagles. We're at the end of the line here. Hawaii, Michigan. Michigan's laying 51 points. And I think if Michigan wanted to, I really believe this, I think they could score 100 points this game. They're not. They're going to call off the dogs. But Michigan wins 63-0 against Hawaii. Nick?
Sounds about right. I'm with you.
Wow.
Patty?
How do you bet on this game?
You probably
wait.
don't.
It was Colorado State that they beat 51-7 last week.
Yeah.
In a coach's first game. I guess Chang was in his first game as well. Oh, I just feel like Michigan doesn't beat teams by more than 51 points. So, but Hawaii is really bad. So I will take the Wolverines.
All right. Speaking of bad, the Idaho State Bengals head to Snapdragon Stadium. No one named the Aztecs wins at the Snapper, apparently, as Arizona worked them. Shout out to Pick Dundee for being on that one with these gutless wonders over here around the Aztecs. However, I am going to lay the 30. I don't know. Give me the 37. Give me the San Diego State doesn't win. They don't blow teams out. Give me the 37 in the Bengals. Nick?
I think I laid the points. Yeah, Idaho State's awful. The guy's got a assistant coach with a murder charge.
49-14 final. Actually, no, you talked me into it. Give me San Diego State. 40-7 final. No.
This one smarts for me a little too much because I was really high on San Diego State and they shat the bed. So I'm going to take Idaho State out of spite.
Well, the Vandals, they almost pulled off an upset in Pullman. They're catching 23 in Bloomington. Indiana coming off that crazy win against Illinois. I'm taking the Vandals plus 23. I was impressed. They hired the head coach, the offensive coordinator for South Dakota State, who brought in Jabari Gibbs, their quarterback from a year ago. I think the Vandals might be decent in the FCS. Give me the 23 points against Indiana. Nick?
You talked me into it. Let's do it.
I'm
on board. I mean, that was impressive by Indiana late to make that comeback, but I think there was some luck involved.
Next up, we're at the end of the line, like I said, but that doesn't mean I don't have locks for you. Let's go. People, do not tune out. I know we're late into the episode, but I am locking up Louisiana Monroe -5 at home against Nichols. Let's go. Nichols doesn't have Lindsey Scott. He's gone. They got nobody. I just took South Alabama against Nichols. It cashed. The Sun Belt is a step up. They are going to cover this. Terry Bowden's not that bad, and ULM will roll. Lock it up. Who's coming with me?
I'm tempted.
That's enough to sway me.
Nichols got absolutely steamrolled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll lock it with you. Let's do it.
Nick?
Yeah, let's do it. Triple lock it.
Yes, ULM -5. Do it. Next up, Tarleton State. They head down to Fort Worth, Texas, take on TCU, where I think TCU might have had a blessing in disguise when their starting quarterback got injured. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. It's not Preston Stone.
Morris?
Yeah. Chance Morris and Max Duggan steps up. So laying 37 against Tarleton, I'll take it. 45-7 final. Give me TCU to get this done. Nick?
Yep, I'm with you.
I got TCU to cover, and I'm going to tell these Horned Frog fans, you need to shut up about Max Duggan because he is a solid quarterback, and let this guy play a little bit and prove it.
There we go. Next up in Eugene, Eastern Washington comes in. Gunnar Talkington at quarterback. Just fired the ball all around the field, but now he comes into Eugene, Oregon, where Oregon just got embarrassed. And guess what? I am laying the points with the Oregon Ducks -21 at home against Eastern Washington because I don't think Dan Lanning can afford a close game here. I'm laying the 21. I think Oregon destroys Eastern Washington. Give me like a 55-21 final.
I am going the opposite direction. I had Bo Nix on my DFS lineup, and that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. So I need to see more.
Ballsy call.
Need to see more out of Oregon before I'll give them the credit. So I'm taking Eastern Washington.
I'm with Patty C here.
Oh, okay. Next, the I-10 rivalries, baby. They're back. New Mexico State heads into El Paso, Texas. New Mexico State's catching 16. Patty C, your boys got shut out in Minneapolis. I think they bounced back. Give me the 16 on New Mexico State. Nick, what are you doing here?
Too many points. Give me the Aggies.
Patty?
They were very bad. How's UTEP? They're 0-2.
Yeah.
I'll go to New Mexico State here.
There we go. Ride that mustache. Next up, one of the best games of the day. Baylor heads into
This is where college game day should be.
Yeah. They hate on BYU. Baylor at BYU. BYU laying 3.5. This is a revenge spot. BYU lost in Waco last year. And I will say this. I mean, I think Jaren Hall and BYU were mighty impressive in Tampa, Florida. I am laying the 3.5 with BYU. Give me a 28-17 final against Baylor. Nick?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned because, Baylor won 38-24 last year, and the rushing yards disparity. It was Baylor put up 303 rushing yards. BYU put up 67. I can't talk because I'm tired. So Baylor just grounded them out. They returned 4 or 5 offensive linemen. They have one of the best 10 offensive lines in America. So Baylor, watch out. But I think BYU at home lay the points to get revenge in a close one.
The altitude, buddy. They're going to be tired. Patty, what are you doing here?
I agree. I think BYU, but I think the game will be a lot closer than you guys think. 28-24 BYU gets the win.
Sounds about right.
All right. 2 games left on the slate, folks. Oregon State heads into Fresno, California. This game is awesome. It's at a pick. Vegas has no idea what's going on here. Fresno's got USC on deck at USC. I got Oregon State. I think their ground attack is one of the best on the West Coast. Give me Oregon State to get it done in Fresno. Nick?
Yeah, Colby sold me on this. I agree. I mean, Fresno coming off a solid win over Cal Poly, 35-7, but they're not really battle tested. Meanwhile, the Beavers manhandled Boise. They were up 27-3 at one point, with Chance Nolan not really having a great game either. So, give me the Beavers.
Patty,
let me tell you what. Hainer was on my DFS lineup too. He is Timmy Checkdown. That's why he put up that many yards, completed that many passes at that high percentage, but still only had 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Oregon State, a complete dominant force. Take the Beavers and lock it.
Oh!
At Fresno can be tricky.
Can be, but I am starting to come around on old Jay Smith.
All right, I like it. I'll be honest. I thought about locking it, but then I said Fresno. If it was in Corvallis, I would lock it, but it's just a little tricky. Final game of the night. Pac-12 after dark. Hail State. Mississippi State comes into Tucson, Arizona, where the SEC is 5-17 in the last 22 since the year 2000 on the West Coast at the home stadiums of these schools. 5-17. Will they go to 5-18? Arizona's catching 11 points. Jaden Delores, the real deal. Jacob Cowing's the real deal. Hail State, I think he's going to get the dub, but give me Arizona plus 11. Watch out. Watch out. I'm telling you, these Wildcats are better than what you think, guys. Patty C., I'm going to go to you first because I'm curious what you think.
Well, I saw that firsthand, and I was shocked every time Arizona was throttling South Dakota State. So I do think they cover at home, but I guess Mississippi State in a close win.
I'm glad you ended on me because I'm going to lock this game up. Mississippi State minus 11. Lay the point. You guys are wrong.
Nancy Nick laying the points, laying the 11 with Hail State.
Dude, Mississippi State's on a mission this year. They were up 35-3 against Memphis before they stepped off the gas. Will Rogers threw for 450 and 5 touchdowns like he does pretty much every Saturday now. That Mississippi State defense paired with that offense, Mississippi State allowed 2 first downs on the first 7 Memphis possessions, and they had limited them to 40 yards midway through the third quarter. This defense is legit. It's an SEC. It's a live SEC defense. Look, Arizona, nice story, nice win. You ain't ready for this smoke yet. Mississippi State rolls.
I love it. Let's see. We got a little fight. I'm excited for it. All right, folks. This is the college football experience. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We are out of the studio. We are in Las Vegas. Once again, if you're in Las Vegas, come by. Hit us up on Twitter at TCE on SGPN, and we'll buy you a beverage. But yeah, thanks for rocking with us through these technical difficulties. Thank you, and looking forward to it. We got more episodes coming, some game previews, an FCS week preview. Check it all out at the College Football Experience. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcast at, and remember, the College Basketball Experience already dropping team previews as well as the basketball season tips on November 6th. We come together as one on YouTube at youtube.com/the college experience. Subscribe over there. Tell a friend. And yes, you can give us a follow once again on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC_NICK. We are the College Football Experience. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. NFL season kicks off. Check out the NFL Gambling Podcast. This is the College Football Experience. Week 2 preview and picks episodes fresh from Vegas. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family. What the fuck did I do wrong? Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
The Redskins want a new stadium. The owner, Jack Foot, and he wants an indoor. I heard an indoor stadium. The Redskins cannot play indoor.
Last night when I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Get my limousine! Ride on 85! Get my Lincoln! Woo! And take off to New Orleans! Woo! You got it, New Orleans! If you're watching right now, I'm 42,000 feet! Easy on it!